Hi DirtFish, welcome to Monte Carlo, welcome to 2025.
Hello DirtFish viewers, we are now 2025, let's go!
The excitement is building. We are here in Monaco for the opening round of the 2025 World Rally Championship, of course, the Monte Carlo Rally. Thank you very much for joining us for something that's a little bit different, chaps. We're doing a bit of a live stream for a few hours today. My name is Luke Barry, joined, of course, by David Evans and Colin Clark. What a way to start the season, David.
It's the perfect place, isn't it? If you're going to start a WRC season, you start it here. We have, in the past, been to Ireland, been to Sweden.
Yeah.
But if you talk about a start, the top of the year, it's here. It's Casino Square.
You know what, it starts, doesn't it? Almost as soon as the Christmas dinner's finished. You start thinking about the start of the season, you start thinking about this place.
No, Christmas pudding. That's all I'm thinking.
Christmas
after
pudding,
Christmas.
maybe. And, you know, and it is absolutely the perfect place to start the season. It's, you know, there's a little bit posh, it's a little bit upmarket, but it's just steeped in traditions and history and glamour, and we like a bit of glamour.
In terms of kind of, the glamour and stuff, it sets the bar very high for the rest of the year, doesn't it? It's great. Every year we come back here. Every year we drive around the Grand Prix track. Every year we just look at these buildings, and it's incredible. Like you say, there is so much history. 1911, the first event. It's amazing. So yeah,
there's a lot to pack in.
So excited.
To do a bit of scene setting, it's probably fairly obvious from what's behind us. We're standing on the top of Café de Paris, so we're very grateful to be up here. We have Casino Square just behind us, where the start ramp for this event is. The first car, which is of course world champion Thierry Neuville, will be over there around about 2:30, and that is when we're aiming to end this live stream. Of course, as I'm sure you can appreciate with live production, things can sometimes be a bit skewy. So
there's an enormous cloud.
There is. You can't
all morning, David. Just keep watching it.
Yeah, the weather has been a little bit changed. I'm sure everyone has seen from the shakedown footage as well how wet it was yesterday. We think there is still snow up on some stages, so there's plenty to look forward to. But over the course of these couple hours, you're not thankfully going to hear just from us. We're going to have all of the leading contenders and a couple of team principals to bring in to speak to as well. But more excitingly, you have the chance to win some money cannot buy exclusive prizes courtesy of Toyota Gazoo Racing. David, talk us through some of it. We've got it on the table to the left of us here.
Chuck us those, Elliot, chuck us those rally plates. No, not rally. That's the most important one. Not that one yet. These are so cool. These are last year's signed rally plates, signed by Sebastian Ogier, by Jari-Matti Latvala. Can't really read many of those.
Latvala, you say Ogier, I don't know, yeah.
But they're all there. And you know, you can buy this plate, but you cannot buy this plate with those signatures on. So this is question one. Are we going to do question one now?
We're going to get to it. So basically how this is going to work, it's all in a competition format. We will talk you through it, but the first question is coming in hot very soon. But essentially a question will come up on the bottom of your screen. All you have to do is put the answer to that question in the comment section along with your social media usernames. So for example, David, you are David Evans Rally.
Yep. Not used very much, but yeah.
And Colin?
I'm Colin Clark Rally, used a lot. Voice of Rally on X, not used quite so much these days, but yeah, as Luke's saying, it's your handle from whichever social media you choose.
Yeah, so when the question comes up, there'll be a 5-minute timer. In that window, that is your chance to get the answer in. And I believe that question is ready to run as well. Just to clarify as well, after the 5 minutes, do not submit your answer because it will not be counted and the winner will be announced at the end of the stream. So make sure you are sticking around for that. But as you can see on screen, the question is, who has the most Monte Carlo Rally wins? If you think you know, answer in the comments, plus your social media handle so we know how to contact you. And you've got 4 minutes, 40 seconds.
And there's two of those rally plates to win.
Yes, very good.
Two winners.
There
are
don't
win two. We have
two different winners. Yeah. Thank you, David, helping me out.
That's all right.
I'll give you a clue for everyone as well. It's not one of us three.
No.
That's won this rally, unfortunately.
The way David drives in the mountains, though, questionable.
Well, David's got the right boots for this weekend, doesn't he? There's a bit of a story this weekend with your tyre choice.
Yeah.
It's always about tyres in Monte, isn't it?
No. Winter tyres. That's why we fly into Milan, so we can get winter tyres. And the happy man at Avis, wasn't so sure. He thought he could get away with giving us 4 seasons.
Yeah, and you wouldn't have booked it, David, would you, if it not said winter tyres?
I said that, Colin. I said that. I booked winter tyres. Well, we got winter tyres. We've got a very small car, but we've got winter tyres.
4 minutes to go, just under 4 minutes to go to get your answers in for this competition. I believe we do have some historic footage to look over as well very soon. Is all from the Monte Carlo Rally. You mentioned it before, David. 1911 was the first time this rally ran. So it's what? Quick maths, 114
years.
15,
114
114.
Yeah,
114 years ago.
But you know, the story behind this event as well. You know, we now know the Monte Carlo Rally as a race through the Alps or whatever. But the very beginnings of this event, it was a tourism drive from Monaco to bring people in the winter through the mountains down to the Riviera, because people didn't come here in January at all. So yeah, I mean, as we can see, the footage is there now. It's great. We're back into 1962.
David, you talked about that. They brought them from points north, south, east, and west of Europe, didn't they? Starting in Glasgow.
Yeah, Glasgow, everywhere, way up north in Stockholm. Yeah, that concentration run was a great part. Should we
How
just?
did they organise something like that though, without the internet? And before the internet, it's astonishing, really.
Exactly, but you look at these pictures, Colt, and so much of that. The entrance to Casino Square, it's still the same.
Recognisable, isn't it? Really recognisable.
Exactly. And then we move on to, what's this? It's 83. I really should put my glasses on. I ain't going to put my glasses on. I'm going to leave it. Oh, perfect. It is 1983. Yeah. Great year. Just outstanding footage. And this footage it was filmed by Barry Hinchliffe, the legendary cameraman, that we were so absolutely delighted. DirtFish owner Steve, I've just got to look at that moment.
That was just beautiful, isn't it?
Just getting it turned in, off the brakes just in time. He must have been to DirtFish. He must have
that
learned
kind of skill to know when to come off the brakes.
Yeah, exactly. To lift off and brake at that exact point. So DirtFish owner Steve Rimmer actually bought the whole archive of Barry Hinchliffe, which is just incredible. That's the footage that you're watching now. It's from that archive. We are cutting some films out of it. We've got a lot of content planned. It's being digitized, so it's not an immediate process, so please bear with us. But we've got some incredible stuff coming.
Fantastic.
Just a shout to say as well, as you can see in the bottom right hand of your screen, 1 minute 50 seconds is all you have to win some signed rally points.
Google.
No, we don't need your own rally fans. You don't need to Google this one. Who has the most Monte Carlo Rally wins? Answer in the comments along with your social media handle, and there will be 2 winners, 2 plates to give away. Answers will be revealed, or winners rather, at the end of the stream. Stick around for that. I believe now we're going forward again, aren't we?
Yeah. And do you know what, the Col de Turini, the experience has changed over the years, David. I mean, there were maybe 15, 20,000 people up there, midnight, 1, 2 in the morning. But even if you go up this weekend, you're still going to feel something really special up there, aren't you?
Totally. And now this incredible promo footage from 84, I think it was at Sestriere or somewhere like that, they took the factory Lanciers and Barry Hinchliffe was there filming it.
That's the thing with Barry. He wasn't just a cameraman, was he? He was a brilliant producer. He was a creative genius.
He was before his time, really, Cole. And just, you know, what we're looking at emulating with DirtFish is producing entertaining, watchable rally programming. That's what he did.
And I think the word that always comes to mind with me when I think of Barry Hinchliffe was engaging. His programmes, they sucked you in, they engaged you, didn't they?
But he had the ability to ask the maddest questions and get away with it. Just was absolutely, truly loved by all of the drivers back in the day, and fierce drivers, you know, Marco Allen, Henry Toivonen, all of these people. It's great. As I say, we've got a whole load of incredible footage. We've got to say a huge thank you to Steve, our owner, for buying that. Yeah, it's all coming your way.
15 seconds is all you have to get your answer in. It's not too late. Who do you think has the most Monte Carlo Rally wins?
Comments
in the comments and your social media handle. Should we get all dramatic? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There it is. The sign.
Who was it?
We don't know yet. We're not revealing it yet.
No, the answer. We can say the answer.
We can say the answer. That's a good question. Who has the most Monte Carlo Rally wins? David Evans, do you know the answer to that question?
I do.
Do you want to share with the lovely viewers?
Ogier.
It is Sebastian Ogier.
Yeah. How many of those were in a World Championship, though?
8.
Yeah.
One of them was in the IRC.
Exactly. Which was, for me, that was a great result from Ogier. Remember in the
first time here, wasn't it?
207?
First time here?
Yeah.
In the 207
yes,
against
it
some,
was.
I think it was, and against some really quality opposition as well. The IRC days, they were world-class drivers. Ogier turns up, hardly anyone can pronounce his name. Ogier, what is it? And we don't know. And he blew them away.
But he was part of that. It was the BF Goodrich drivers initiative thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That on each round, they gave a drive. Thierry Neuville got it in
That's
Ypres.
absolutely right. Yeah.
Adam Gould had it in the UK, was it? I think.
Could have been, yeah, you're testing me now.
But you know, that's a great segue into tyres, because we have new tyres coming here. Sorry, did you save that? Was that going to be a big chat?
No, we can, as we said before, a lot of this could be improv, so plenty things to go through, but it's a very good point. One of the major changes for 2025 is, of course, that switch in supplier from Pirelli to Hankook. Well, just before we get there, this is where tyres are important as well, isn't it?
And tyres change so much, you know. When you look at this, you would probably see, if they knew, that's Turini obviously, if they knew that stage was completely snow, they would put the bicycle tyres, almost Swedish spec tyres on. You talk to someone like George Donaldson, they must have had, I don't know, 20
so
different
many options.
I remember the first time I came here, you would talk to the drivers about there was studded tyre. Okay, studded tyre. Yeah, but it's a half stud. What does that mean? It's half the length. And then it's only on half of the tread pattern. You'd have an inside stud or an outside stud. It was, and trying to, you know, journalists today, Luke, you don't know you're born. Trying to keep a track of Tommy Mäkinen telling you, yeah, we've got the inside cut, we've got the outside stud. It was nuts.
Yeah, I've got it easy now. Sorry to cut across.
No, I was just going to say, David, you know, it wasn't so long ago that they actually moved away from those tyres. And what was the reason? Why did we move away from those wonderful skinny tyres that looked so incongruous on the cars? Beautiful, big, brutal cars, and little tyres that didn't look up to it.
They're known as the bicycle tyre for good reason. And they worked, like you say, Cole, they worked so well because they pushed so much pressure through that much smaller the tread footprint. It was on cost. It was because of the cost. Obviously, they can use the Sweden tyre here, Monte. So yeah, it just made complete sense. Yeah, absolutely.
As you can see there, we're watching some action through the hairpins as well, but we do have our first guest waiting in the background here. We'll get a couple of minutes before we introduce him, but as I said in this live stream, we do have various competitions running throughout the production, so make sure you're sticking around for those. The winners will be revealed at the end, but I believe we are ready to bring in our 8-time World Rally champion, Mr. Sebastian Ogier.
Hello.
How are you? You well?
Yes.
We're here. We're in your home, pretty much.
Well,
a little bit south.
not exactly.
Which is yours?
One of my rally home, let's say, or rally favorite, but not exactly my home.
You never fancied living here? It's not really for you, Monaco?
Honestly, when I was young, maybe I could have considered it, but I think, you know, everybody know why. The main reason why athletes are coming here, and this privilege is not working for French citizens. So that's the main reason why you don't see many French living here also.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's obviously a beautiful city, very packed. So I mean, for myself, like I said, younger time, maybe I would have like it. I think right now I'm happy to have a bit more real nature around me.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you still feel as excited, Seb, to come here every single year? Because I've lost track of how many Montes you must have done now in a row, but every year we see you back.
I didn't know as well, but yeah, we've checked now before the start, and it's the my 16th start here.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't know. My track record here are like very, very strong, so it's always getting tougher to keep them on the same level. But yeah, the last 12 starts, it's 8 wins, 4 second place. So for sure, I would love to continue this great series. But yeah, and if possible with number 1, not number 2. Obviously, always the target when you start the rally. But Monte is every time a difficult challenge. So for sure, I repeat that every single start here. I come here with a lot of humility regarding the event. I know that my success from the past doesn't give me so much guarantee for this year. So I'll try my best one more time. But a lot of change this year with the tires. The regulation means much more unknown, I would say, than usually.
That was my question, was just there is so much unknown, isn't there? And you said in the interview after the test, it's maybe the least prepared that any drivers come here. How, you know, you're a man that goes through every preparation. How does it feel to be in those kind of shoes?
Well, I would prefer to have a bit more parameters and a bit more preparation, knowing more the new product that we're going to use. But that's the way it is. And you touched it, I guess it's similar for everybody. So that's the main point, and it's about to adapt to it very quickly. But tire choice are always very difficult here, and with even less knowledge on the rubber, it's let's say there is a bit bigger part of guessing this time. So let's hope our experience and the little we've seen on the preparation can still lead us to the correct choices.
Well, sorry, mate, I've got one more question. What you mentioned as well in that interview, you talked about almost a fear of going out into the mountains. And just tell us a little bit, because, you know, we drive on the road and we see a bit of ice and it's terrifying for us. But you're supposed to go flat out. How do you do that?
Well, with doing the best preparation you can, with your pace notes, the walk with the gravel crew is crucial, of course. They are also our eyes and give us the last condition we're going to face. I don't know how you say that, but the fear, I mean, I think, yeah, there is always a little bit of fear, and I think this first night always is always a challenge because, yeah, at the end of the day, when it's full winter condition and fully ice and snow, it will be kind of more easy. You know, you put stud tires and then you go and you judge the grip. When it's more tarmac, but coming to below 0 temperatures and start to freeze again, that's the most challenging conditions where we need to be sure we have, let's say, anticipate every change of grip.
I think in our minds, as onlookers said, we all think about the Montes. This event has all these changeable conditions, the snow, the ice. That's what we all kind of want to see this weekend. As a driver, do you want to have that kind of Monte challenge, or would you rather it be bone dry and straightforward?
No, I would love to have the real winter conditions. Unfortunately, it was a little bit too warm the last days. We had yesterday some rain, and I think with maybe 2 degrees less, it would have been full snow everywhere, or a lot of snow. So, yeah, this little, I don't know where it comes, global warming, whatever, but this little extra temperature we have at the moment is always, unfortunately, bringing the snow, turning the snow into water. And I think, you know, everybody likes to see Monte Carlo with this nice winter livery in a way. So, yeah, I would love to have that. We will have some sections still probably which might be a bit icy. I think after this rains, obviously a lot of humidity and it might turn quite cold this night. So tomorrow morning, I think it's really possible to see kind of frozen condition and slippery condition.
And we'll go for it.
Luke talked a little bit about your home. Not here, obviously, but you drive home tonight, essentially, but up the road to Gap. What's that like, just being in Gap, around that town with all of your fans, your family, your friends?
Yeah, it's, I mean, obviously always a very special event for me. It's a big chance to have this home rally for me and to get this incredible support. So, yeah, I enjoy every time the atmosphere. And at the same time, it's a very demanding week because I of course, have a lot of requests all the time. And yeah, it's rally itself is already intense, but all of the requests around make it even more exhausting for me. But I mean, I have to enjoy those moments. You know, it's a privilege to have a home race like this, and yeah, a lot of pressure as well because they all expect me to continue winning after having achieved it 9 times here. So they all think it's let's say it should be for them kind of normal if I win again. But it's anything else as normal. You know, it's always a hard challenge.
I mean, you said it yourself as well. You've done this rally 16 times, but I think everybody knows you've grown up around watching this event. Does it ever sort of hit you? Do you ever get that moment where you sort of remember being that small boy watching on, and you're now the guy that has the most wins here? It's a beautiful story, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. I'm probably the story I'm the most proud about my career for sure, because the dream started here for me as a kid. You just said it, and back then, I was not even thinking I would get a chance one day to be part of this world, and yeah, now being the most successful rally on this rally make me very happy. And more than that, still being there. You know, I was not thinking maybe some years ago that I would still be there, and yeah, we just said it. I'm gonna start from the 16th time here, and still with a competitive car, and then a tool to try to win it. So that's. Yeah, that's the most beautiful of it, to be able to do it on such a long time and still being at the top.
What would it mean to win for a 10th time?
I don't know. I will try to get some feedback after it if it happens. But first of all, let's do the rally, and then there's no point to speculate before.
Is it a tough one? The route, you've done many routes. Is this route particularly challenging more than any other?
I think there is many stages which are challenging, and the fact that there is not enough snow or ice and the rain have made the cut very dirty, very muddy. So I think the rally will be very slippery overall because of the dirty condition on the road. and regarding that, my start position is not ideal. So we'll have to see what we can do, and we know it's a rally where gap can be made. It's not a rally where you fight tenths of a second. You know, it's normally it happens that in one stage you lose a couple of seconds, but there is always a chance to get it back at some point. So that's what you have to focus on, being consistent. That's always the key to win a rally, and avoid any big mistake.
If you can just talk to you briefly about the season ahead as well. We know you did more rallies last year than I think you probably expected. Are you looking forward to going back to your more usual program this year?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm just happy to still being there. Like I say, last year, yeah, it was not planned to do that much, but I enjoyed being in this situation, and I had to give it a shot, and it didn't work. But I said it already. There was no regret about that point. The manufacturer title was a very strong moment for us and for the team in Japan, so I enjoyed that a lot. And yeah, this year it's more like a half program again, and I mean, never say never, you know. That's why we never also reveal the rallies. But I mean, the only thing I can say right now is that for sure after this one there will be a bit of a longer break for me.
Seb, well, thank you very much. I look forward to seeing what you can do this weekend.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Yeah.
All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
I'll
you.
do it left time. Cheers. There we go. Sebastian Ogier, 9-time winner here in Monte Carlo, 8-time world rally champion. Colin Clark is back.
I've just heard something fascinating,
Go
and it's
on.
a shame that Seb's gone. Apparently Seb marshalled on the Monaco Grand Prix, and his marshal point was just behind me.
Really?
here.
Just here?
I'm at the back going, oh, ask the question, and then he went.
That was it. Because obviously the big hero for Seb is Ayrton Senna.
Yeah.
I don't. No, I can't remember the timings, but yeah, he marshalled here with
there you
his
go.
father.
He's
Incredible.
just a huge motorsport fan, isn't he? As well as one of the greatest drivers I think we've ever seen. And we can have that debate at any point, and he'll always be right there in terms
We're
of
not
mine.
getting into that. You're
Let's
just
not
off
get
the
into
back of Dakar.
I am just on the back, and I've got
quite
another.
rightly.
Yeah, but he is fabulous, and he's just such a wonderful ambassador for our sport as well. You know, he talks so well, he presents himself so well, and he's so measured, and I love the guy. Closest thing I've got to a motorsport hero.
Yeah.
Don't let him hear that.
Yeah,
Don't let him
he
hear
might
that.
have heard that. He's still in there, it's in the background. But
But he is incredible, and we still need in this championship. We still need these incredible benchmarks.
Yep.
We need them because
Yeah.
you know you've got these young drivers coming up, the Sami Pajaris and stuff. They need those
Absolutely.
absolute megastars to shoot at.
And
don't
it's
they?
it's what pushes them on, isn't it, David?
Yeah,
and you
for
look,
sure.
you look at the likes of Elfyn Evans and Ott Tänak, and your teammates in their early days with Sebastian Ogier, and they'll tell you how much they progressed because of it.
Yep.
now, we did say earlier on that if you want to leave any questions for us, please do that. And thankfully, we have actually had some in as well. So thank you very much. I've got a couple, actually,
Oh.
gents. And We Phil is the first one. Thank you very much, We Phil.
We feel where might he
says-
be from? We
Well-
feel for Glasgow.
Well-
Maybe.
No, maybe not quite. We're just a little bit over the water, if I was to guess. But with Josh McErlean coming into sport, does that improve the chances of getting a rally back in Ireland? Quite an interesting question.
I think it's got to.
Absolutely, 100% has to. You know, it has to. We know how, you know, how invested the Irish are in their rallying. It's almost, I almost say it's almost a religion out there. That clearly maybe isn't the best analogy, but it's enormously popular. And you know, when you have home heroes, it just builds the interest. It builds the support. It brings the financial support, and that seems to be the issue, David.
But yeah, I think it is. But more important, not more importantly, but just go back and watch some of our DirtFish films from Calais Rovanperä in Killarney in November last year. You know, and Calais got out of the car, and I said to him, "This is just like being at home. This is just like Jyväskylä, just like Rally Finland." And he said, there are more people here than in Finland. So yeah, it's incredible. So
Fingers
hopefully-
crossed. It would be great.
absolutely.
You know, Rally Ireland was a wonderful addition to the calendar.
And
So
it's
hopefully we'll
just
go
a
back.
fantastic country.
Oh,
it is
wonderful.
great.
Yeah, no, I never managed to make it out to Ireland when it was in the WRC, but it's one of those ones I'd love to do if we had the.
Yeah.
You'd have been about
Ireland.
4 years old, probably. So
no, no,
that's
a little bit older,
understandable.
that's a bit
We'll
older.
forgive you that one.
Forgive me. We do have some more questions as well coming through. Thibaut Visseran, sorry if I've mispronounced that. I'm not the best at this kind of stuff. He's asking, how long is the contract for supplied by Hankook tyres? Did they have more testing due to the switch?
It's a 3-year contract.
Yep.
And they began. The key thing with the testing for Hankook, they obviously they signed the deal over a year ago, but the pivotal tyres they had to get tested earlier was the Sweden tyre. For obvious reasons, you run out of winter conditions, so they worked quite hard on getting that winter tyre ready. That was done by about March. That would have been the first tyre. They didn't really have more time, but they just efficiently used the time that they've got. Started working into the gravel tyre and then the tarmac tyres. So yeah, they've come through that development process. There were some. I think they've done a fantastic job. We've got to say that they're Hankook. You look at Pirelli and Pirelli's history, the amount of time that they've been in the sport, decades, 50 years, 100 years. Hankook haven't been at this level in rallying before. They've not got a great background in rallying, as in they haven't been in rallying for so long. So it's fantastic to see them here. The effort they've made is exceptional.
And I think it's always exciting, David, when you have a company like Hankook, who are an aspiring company.
Yeah.
They've got ambitions. They've got,
Absolutely.
they've got plans. And not to say that Pirelli didn't use rallying, to promote their product, but Hankook, it's an integral part of what they're going to do. So in terms of how they use rallying, where they place their rally involvement, the promotion around it, I'm excited by it.
Oh, 100%.
Because whenever you've got a youngish, dynamic company who are going to use rallying as part of the promotional push, everyone benefits, not just the teams, everyone benefits.
And this, you've got to say, this is, talk about in at the deep end.
Oh.
This is the place where you get more tyre variety than anywhere else. They've got 4, they've got the super soft tarmac, the soft tarmac, the winter studded. It's incredible to bring 4 tyres, and then they go to Sweden, where potentially they're going to use 1 tyre. That's it. It's obviously a studded winter tyre. So yeah, it's a big ask for them. But they've done the development, and I'm sure it's great. I think the one thing that we've said consistently is we need to give them time. Yeah. We need to just not jump to any conclusions. They've made the investment. It's a 3-year deal. They will get it right. And that's not to say they haven't got it right immediately.
You mentioned the word incredible there. Just to remind everyone, if you are just tuning in, or if you may have somehow forgotten what we have on offer here today, it's not just us 3 and World Rally Championship drivers that are featuring. You have the chance to win exclusive money, cannot buy prizes via our competition running at various points throughout this stream. We've already given away our first set of prizes, a couple of rally plates signed by the Toyota drivers. The winners for those will be announced at the end of the stream. Thank you very much to everybody that took part in that initial competition. But we already have some more amazing stuff courtesy of Toyota, including signed hats. We've got signed boots from Takamoto Katsuta, which we understand stood on the podium at Safari Rally Kenya last year as well, so that's fever.
Underwear,
yes.
Not underwear.
You just said it so blankly.
I'm bad.
Undershirts. No,
what is it?
They're undershirts.
So here's a serious question. So do you wear underwear under none? This is a serious question. I don't know.
No, you don't.
You don't. So,
No.
it is.
Would you not? Underneath your...
Underneath, you wouldn't wear
Well,
underwear.
you're a rally driver.
You were a driver. You competed.
No, I'd wear no, mate. I wore long johns and a long sleeve shirt.
Without getting too personal, I did wear something underneath the long johns.
So you're not a true Scotsman then?
Well, we went there. But we do believe we have our second question ready to roll as well. So this is your chance to win a signed cap, or in one case a beanie hat, courtesy of Toyota drivers and co-drivers. There's 4 of these to give away, so 4 different winners. Colin Clark is now modelling those. Maybe not quite modelling. We don't want to. Nobody wants David's head in it.
But that's the perfect for Vincent Londe fans. That's the perfect setup. That's his woolly hat that he's going to be, or he was planning to use this weekend, but clearly he's not because he's giving it to DirtFish. And that's when the sun comes out.
When the sun comes out, and it's again signed by who?
Vincent Londe.
There you go. I'll take those back, David. So as not to make a mess of them.
We do have cats from
put that in my pocket.
Sebastian Ogier and Elfyn Evans as well. So there's plenty to go around. I believe the question that you will be needing to answer, and remember, to do this, all you have to do is drop your answer in the comments here on this stream and leave your social media handle, so a way to contact you. And the question is, how many Monte Carlo
Jolly Raleigh
does Sebastian Ogier have? Now, if you've been paying attention, we have said it a couple of times throughout the stream, so this might be a slightly easier one for you, but yeah, how many Rally Monte Carlo wins does Sebastian Ogier have? Answer in the comments along with your social media username. For example, David Evans Rally, Colin Clark Rally, or Voice Rally, depending where to
DirtFish Rally.
DirtFish,
That's probably a better plug, isn't it? Actually?
Yeah, we should be plugging DirtFish Rally.
Good shout. But yeah, I'm thinking about it actually. I'm not going to again disclose the answers. That would be too nice. But Ogier's success here, to have won as many as he has, there's not that many events that someone's had such a domination on. I'm struggling to think of any rallies that someone's won as many times as
he knows the answer.
But it's an astonishing achievement. And we talk about luck in rallying. Well, this is an example of how you don't make your own. Well, you do make your own luck. You know, and it's not down to luck. It's down to preparation. It's down to planning. It's down to experience. And he's got all of those things, and he utilises them to the max on this event in particular. David, what have you seen?
I'm trying to get Elliot's attention here because
we've got
some new members of the team who are kind of in and out. I think we're both. What do we call us?
It's a wagtail.
A pied wagtail.
Thank you, David. I was a member of the Young Ornithologists.
So was I.
You weren't.
Look at him. It's a pied wagtail.
Are you genuinely a member of the Wild? What colour was the badge?
Blue. Red,
yellow,
with a hint of orange, obviously because it's DirtFish.
Yeah,
oh no, he's a whaler.
David, I've had a question in my ear from Brenton Kelly's behind the camera, my director. Mentioning James Hunt as well,
James
birds
Hunt.
And yeah.
We've been talking a lot about James Hunt, obviously, because this was a great playground for James Hunt. Fabulous British Formula One driver, and so Brento is obviously American, so I assumed maybe that he hadn't heard of James Hunt, so I just asked the question.
It's just pretty true on your behalf, it has to be said.
Immediately came up with the budgies.
Never assumed.
Talked about the budgies, and he knew all about James Hunt. But that's another reason that it's, we come here for the rally, but this place is steeped. We go down towards the tunnel, and that's where Senna parked it. You come out through Raskas, and that's where Schumacher went off. You go down out of Casino, and that's where Rosberg put it in the wall down there. It is an amazing place.
Every single metre, there's something you can talk about.
And then you look in Casino Square, and normally it's Porsche, Ferrari, Lamborghini.
I still find it really difficult to actually visualise Formula One cars coming past the front. Just through that gap there, right-hander down the hill. No matter how often you come here, you still get that, wow, do they really?
And do you remember in 97, they started I think it was the first stage or the last stage, I can't remember, but they had a stage at the bottom half of the Grand Prix track. So they actually went. It was later than that as well.
It was 2000 because Conrad Rautenbach crashed on the last corner.
I'm just going to quickly cut across a quick reminder. You've just got under 2 minutes to get your answer in for that question.
What can you do in 2 minutes?
What can you do? You can quickly type in the answer.
And to win, you can watch 1983 Monte Carlo. Oh no, this is 85.
Is this the year, David? Is that the year of the legendary Monte?
Go on then, David, tell us the story. We've done a lot of practice runs of this, and you've told this story a lot of times, but here's your moment for real.
It was incredible. It was the year that everybody remembers. It's created the legend of Monte Carlo Rally and Ari Vatanen. He was in the Peugeot, Walter Röhrl's in the Audi, and off they went. Ari built a good lead, and then they were coming into gap about halfway through. And Terry Harriman booked really uncharacteristically, and it's really a shame that it's always Terry that gets the blame for this. He booked them in 4 minutes early. The reason for that, and it's a little bit of a longer story, but it's worth telling because everybody's just blind.
Just before you're going to say it, I'm just going to do the classic QVC style sort of shout out. 1 minute left to get that answer in. Remember, you're answering how many Rally Monte Carlo wins does Sebastian Ogier have? Leave the answer in the comments along with your social media handle. David, back to you.
So they had gone through there was an overnight halt in Gap. They'd gone through the previous stage, but the previous stage was delayed. They delayed the start by 4 minutes. So they'd gone into the stage, come out, and Terry had then calculated the in-control time to book into the controlling Gap at the original start time of the previous stage, which was 4 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
So therefore, he then went into the control 4 minutes early. And, we've talked to Terry so many times about this and to Ari. And Terry said, as soon as I went in, I got out of the car, and he said, immediately as a co-driver, you look behind you. Just to check the next car that, now they have 3 minute gaps. So you're just looking at them, making sure they're sort of moving around the car to get. And he was, where are they? Wow. They're not there. And for 4 minutes, he wanted the world to open up and swallow him. The poor guy.
4 seconds, though, not from it. 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and that is it. The second competition is closed. Well, okay, let's go wrap up. I've got a couple of things to do.
I've been practicing this.
I know you're excited. I know you're excited. But yeah, thank you very much for taking part in that. If you do still know the answer to that question, it is not valid anymore. So don't comment the answer to the second question, which was how many Rally Monte Carlo wins does Sebastian Ogier have? The answer was, of course, David?
9.
You had to think about that, didn't you?
One less than 10, because you asked him how it would feel to win 10.
No. So just to finish off the Ari story, so because it was 4 minutes early, he was penalised 2 minutes per minute, so he got an 8-minute penalty. So he'd gone from a 3 minute lead, I think, to being 5 minutes behind Walter Röhrl. And even at that time, they were coming down from Gap into Monaco for the finish. They'd got, I think, a night and a day or something to go. But even at that time, Volterol said, he will catch me,
Wow.
he will pass me.
He was such a calculating driver, Roll, wasn't he? He
Unbelievable.
didn't know exactly how many Ks,
he knew
how
what
much
was coming.
slower he was,
And so Vatanen called his wife, Rita, in Finland and said, I need you. She was in Finland. She flew down to be with him. And this is the best bit. You know, you talked to Terry Harriman, how was it? And he said, Harry was completely calm. The next morning, got in the car and he said to Terry, tighten your belts. And they drove like the wind. And there was, I think, the San Rafael stage where he actually caught and overtook Volterol.
And they all knew. He knew, goodness me.
Oh, it was. And so, in terms of on the road time, he won the event by 13 minutes.
Which is crazy, isn't it?
It was, and you talked to Harry about it, and it's like he was in a dream. It was just, and that's the event. That 1985, you read about it, and you still read about it, and it's quite incredible.
Can I tell a little story?
Go for
it. Not about the Monte Carlo, but it's about that Harriman moment where you realise, oh my goodness me, what
Have you
I
had
done?
that moment?
No, but I'll tell you someone has. I remember standing at a stop line, and it was Corsica, and the cars were coming through, and then it was like, so-and-so hasn't taken to the start, and it was Andreas Mikkelsen. And the story is, they turned up really early to the start. So I thought, let's go and watch, because there was actually, unusually from the start, you could see the cars for about a kilometre or so. Let's go and watch a few cars off the start just to judge. What's the right thing to do? Judge the conditions. So he's standing there with his co-driver, Olaflun, and car took off 2 minutes later. They're thinking, geez, the next car, someone's missed their slot. That's us! Genuinely, that's us. And it was a mad panic. Back to the car, in through the stage.
Wow.
Yeah, wasn't here, it was Rally Corsica, I'm pretty sure.
We've had the odd moment, though, haven't we? Down
We've had
the
lots
years
of moments.
where we thought, where
No
are the
comment
cars?
for me. Speaking of moments, we do actually have this year a very fantastic way for you to make sure that you don't have any moments behind the wheel. In addition to the DirtFish Rally School roster is Ice Driving USA. This is all you need to know about it. David, I like to think I've got quite a good attendance record at work, but would you mind if I...
No! No! And we've talked about this. No. The three of us.
Why not?
We are probably the three people in the world that need.
You don't, because you've beaten a WRC driver on ice, so you don't need any lessons. So just send me and look.
I might have said, but now we're live an hour, I can't really blame. It was Chris Atkinson, and we were about a second. I think I was within a second of him at driving a Porsche on a frozen lake. It was incredible. And I was like, wow, out the way, Chris Atkinson. I'm going straight to see Mr. Richards. I am Subaru's future. And so Atco said, yeah, mate, let's have another go then. So we went
Just
back
like
in the
that.
car. Yeah, just like that. It's like having Chris here, isn't it? Yeah, mate, let's go again. We went again. He went 10 seconds quicker, and I went off on about the third corner. It was hideous, but...
I sympathise with that. Once you get into that competitive situation,
Yeah.
it's different. The skills go.
Totally.
As I'll contest.
Yeah. There are videos.
Yeah, somewhere on the DirtFish archive. Don't look for them.
No, do. But
Please don't.
But go to... Just check out the winter driving school that we've got. It teaches you so much.
That's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, it is that opportunity to learn how to go quickly, but it's also that opportunity to learn how to control a car. And that's your everyday practical, more important part of it almost, isn't it?
It is. It's just that ability to, and this is for me, you know, with DirtFish, we've all been to the school in Snoqualmie. It is an amazing place, and everybody's like, oh yeah, you can be a rally driver. It makes you a better road driver as well, because the minute the car starts to slide, you're not panicking.
And here's the thing, David, you know, you can listen to people telling you what to do all you like. When people say, well, you turn into the slide if you find... Well, what does that mean? I really don't know. It's like the time that Matthew Wilson shouted to me when I'm driving the Fiesta, down 2, and I thought he meant down to the pub. He meant down 2 gears. Meant down 2 gears.
And you were the first person to crash that car.
Fiesta R5. I thought I was for 5 minutes until you put me right and said you'd crashed it earlier, because you were always doing something better than me.
So this, just for complete clarity, is before Colin or David either worked or had been to DirtFish.
Yes.
I hadn't had much tuition, but it was only cones you hit, I believe, wasn't it?
It was one of those big, heavy plastic
There's no water in
chicanes.
mine, though.
But I'd been round the thing with Matthew Wilson. It was at the launch of the Fiesta R5 car. Matthew Wilson is one of the most talented drivers in the world. Takes after his dad. It's amazing. We come to this chicane, and Matthew was in 5th gear, and he was like, and we went, woo, and he may have gone down a gear. Woo. And then we went round once just to have a look with me driving, and I was like, I reckon I can do that because there's quite a bit of room there. So I probably
it was an airfield, wasn't it?
Yeah,
so
it was an airfield. So
there.
I was like down to 4th, and then we just clipped one. Oh my lord! I thought I'd taken a wheel off. It was horrific. But yeah. Not quite as spectacular. I think you can probably surf the web and find your moment.
I think the people in the little hospitality unit genuinely jumped up. There's pictures of a camera woman with absolute terror on her face, and she was legging it.
But the airfield was in Cumbria. You look like your spin might end up in the borders of Scotland. It was a big commitment.
Yes, at that point I would have been living at home back in the borders, actually, ironically. Because I did see a car spinning across my front garden. I didn't think anything of it. But there we go. We have been asking you for some of your questions as well, and thank you very much for those. We do have a couple of those to go through. Now, the dirty mechanic, and I'll go to you, Colin, this time, first of all. He has asked, or they have asked...
when it comes to mechanical questions,
yeah, you are the one. Yeah, I think that they've known this. Does the WRC miss an event like the old RAC rally, which tested man and machine?
Yeah, do you know, I really think it does, but rallying's evolved. Rallying's evolved from, we've lost many elements. We've lost the navigational element, we've lost the endurance element, and you're testing man and machine. You can't do it these days. You know, those guys were up 18, 20, 22 hours a day at times. You know, and that's how you test man and machine, you know, thousands of kilometres over a week. You know, that's a different sport now, and that's probably your off-road rallying. You know, it has evolved. So does rallying miss it? Yeah, maybe, but the sport has evolved, and you know that element is available, but in a different type of the sport, I think.
Yes. If you're talking about missing Rally GB and the RAC Rally, of course we do.
Oh no! But that wasn't the question. Well, yes, we miss. I totally agree with that.
We kind of got a little bit of endurance with Safari, not really as it was, but yeah, if we miss the RAC, we miss, and I miss that enormous endurance. We do have the Roger Albert Clark Rally, which you know about, the historic event, biannual in the UK. But as a WRC round, please, somebody in the promoters, sort this out. Give us a round back. We miss it.
Was that the question?
Yeah, but
it wasn't. I didn't answer. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry for not answering your question.
It wasn't. No, it was. It's a mixture of both. But what I think is interesting is you talked about the endurance factor. I actually think it's not too dissimilar to what we have now, but we can't see it. They're all doing it in their bedrooms in the hotel room, studying videos. So actually, the days of endurance is almost as long.
Endurance is relative. You know, remember when Jean Todt was president, his big idea was to bring back endurance to rallying. Well, what he meant was bring back 7-8 day rallies. You know, for me, Ypres was a great example of an endurance rally. Just over 36 hours, just under 300 kilometres, drivers getting to bed late, getting up early. It's relative. It's all relative. You can have a 24-hour endurance race. You can have a 48-hour endurance race. You can have a 7-day, 2-week endurance race. You know, what I don't like is days where we do 20, 30, 40 kilometres. Yeah. That's not good, and that's not productive, and I don't think...
And it's not endurance.
It's not endurance. It's not good for the sport, I don't think. You know, it's just too busy.
Some of the Sundays that we had in years gone by were ridiculous. Just...
Now, we do have another question from APAC Time 4, and again, apologies if I've mispronounced that, but it's all YouTube usernames, isn't it? It's just a little bit different, but I'm going to assume this question means this year, but they've asked, which rally do you think will be the best to watch and why? I'll come to you first, David.
Oh, I know.
It's almost a bit of a cliche, but you'd have Finland. If they get the route right and if they get the stages right, to see a car absolutely flat out at nigh on 200 kilometres an hour, 3 or 4 feet in the air, you don't forget that. So for me, it's Finland or Sweden for the speed and the spectacle. For the backdrop, you go to Safari. This is the World Rally Championship. It's incredible. For the welcome, you go everywhere, but specifically to Japan because they're just beautiful people, and it's an incredible.
So, David, that's like half the calendar.
Yeah. So Finland.
Can we pick one?
Finland.
Okay, but not here. You don't want to build the hype up for being here.
Here's amazing, but you know, Seb, it's difficult. It's not difficult to spectate if you plan, get in early. It's great, but like Sebastian Ogier said earlier to us that the weather compromises this event quite a lot. You know, you come here hoping for that incredible, as he brilliantly, succinctly said, the winter livery of the snow, and maybe we're not going to get that, but when you do, it's amazing. It's more difficult to travel around, but what we're going to have here is potentially for some stages a wet old San Remo.
Yeah, that's true. I'm going to go from the start of the season to the end of the season, and for many reasons I'm looking forward to Saudi Arabia. I've just come out of the Dakar, so I know the kind of the visuals that come out of rallying in the desert, and it is totally spectacular. But any desert rallying, you look at any video, any photos from the Middle East Rally Championship and the Oman Rally, which came very, very close to being around the championship many years ago, is on this weekend. Take a look, if you get the chance, at some of the images that come out of there. And I cannot wait to see world rally cars in the Saudi desert. I've got no idea what to expect in terms of roads, but I know what to expect in terms of scenery, and it'll be amazing.
But it's not just the desert, is it? We're expecting mountains and all sorts of...
And you asked yesterday, because you're not a man that likes the heat, and you're thinking, can I take my jumper, Colin? I'm going to be allowed to wear my jumper. Don't take your jumper, take your thermals, take your winter wear. It could be snowing up in the hills at the end of the year in Saudi Arabia. So there's so much to look forward to with that one.
And I think with Saudi, the big thing, we go to Paraguay for the first time, we go to Gran Canaria for the first time this year, and they're great, and we really look forward to those. But the sense of adventure of going to Saudi Arabia is incredible.
And that goes back to the last question. That was another thing that maybe rallying's lost over the years. So there's the navigation, there's the endurance, there's also the sense of adventure. To some degree, we've lost. But by going to places like Saudi, back to Kenya, we're reintroducing. It's there, it's available. That adventure in rallying is still there. And we just have to take it, and we have to take the opportunity when it comes along.
We do. And I was in Alula for the first round of Extreme E a few years ago, and the progression the country's making is incredible, and they're looking to take the sport, give the next generation of Saudi youth the opportunity to be engineers, drivers. It's great, it's a real opportunity. So but still Finland for me.
Well, speaking of Finland, we do have one of Finland's finest rally drivers lurking in the background. We're to welcome our second guest onto the live stream, Mr. Juha Kankkunen. There is Toyota Deputy Team Principal.
Thank you.
Juha, good to see you. Good to see you. Hiya.
It's an honour. Probably saying that on the first time in the live stream, never met you, so I'm a bit starstruck right now. You're a bit of a legend, aren't you? But what does it mean for you to be here? Because it's a different year for you this year, isn't it? Now working for Toyota in, I guess, an official capacity.
Yes, let's say that it is very interesting, I must say. I have been driving this rally. We were just remember 93 when I was starting with Celica with #1 here, so that's quite a long time ago. And now helping Jari-Matti this year quite a lot, most auto rallies I will do because he's doing the European Championship. And interesting, of course I know the team, know the people, we have good team to work with, so nothing really to worry about.
What is your best memory of this rally? I think it's fair to say it's probably not, in terms of the competition side, your favourite rally, but what is your best memory? When you think Monte Carlo, what do you think back to? It's going, that was great.
No, Monte Carlo is always special. It's first rally in the year, and I mean, what can I say, the best memory from this, the whole rally, let's say, because it's legend itself. So always when you start to this rally, you feel a bit nervous, let's say, similar than starting to Finland rally at the home rally. You have a little bit of more nervous feeling than starting to the normal rallies.
Sorry, just got. You can see on the screen here. We've got clips from 1987. So this would have been your first year in the Lancia. That was you there, isn't it? Going through the stages, classic Monte conditions there.
Yeah, it was full winter rally. No, 86 with Peugeot was the first year I did the rally, and that was similar condition than that. And that's the proper Monte. I think we used tarmac tires only near here, knees. The rest of it we did all with the winter tires.
Tell us about that process, because yourself and Tommy Mack, and Tommy was considered to be just the absolute guru of tires. But you had so many options in those days. Where was the information coming from? How many people were feeding into the decision on the tire choice? How did you go about making those decisions?
Yeah, that is a good question. We had a lot of people on the stages reporting, because the weather could change very quickly at that time, from the asphalt to the snow, and snow was melting as well quite quickly away. But mainly I was trusting my ice note crews. At the time there were so many stages that I think I had like 3 different. Now you have only 1 gravel crew going through 3 different guys, and let's say that I used quite good guys. Probably he's passed already, but Timo Mäkinen, who won the rally, he was one of my my ice note cruise. So he gave me quite good information about what tires you should choose and which one will be the right one.
What do you think it took to be successful here? Because I know we've talked about it, it's not a rally you managed to win, but you have had a few podiums around here. But I guess as a driver, did you start thinking about the championship almost as well when you come to rally like this? First round of a long season, you don't want to risk too much always here, do you?
No, that you are right. You didn't think about the championship. It was first rally in the season. But let's say that Monte is so special that you were never. You had to drive clean, good rally. It was not like straightforward, full attack all the time. You had to think about a little bit. Sometimes save the tires because you could do so that you had like 10 kilometers wet tarmac, and then you had another 10 kilometers snow. And if you destroy the tires in the first 10, what did you have left for the rest of it? So
Snowbank.
the snowbank waiting for you to hit it. Anyway, so you had to think about the whole stage, and of course the good time, that time we had service, we could choose the tires for every stage. So you had always the right ones, but still you had to think about a little bit how you were driving.
Strategy was so much more important in those days. But we talk about all the different variables that come into play here in Monte Carlo. And then you look at Sebastian Ogier. The last 12 times he's been here, he's won it 8 times. He's been second 4 times in the last 12 Montes.
Yes.
What do you think it is about Sebastian Ogier? What special skills, attributes, what has he got that allows him to be that consistent here?
No, he's just so talented. He was born to drive, especially on Monte Carlo. He is from Cap actually area, and so he has a feeling for the roads, how it is changing. Is it in the evening when it gets colder, if it's going to be icy, and in the morning how quickly it is smelting away, and so he just have the right feeling for this rally. He's fast everywhere in the world. Doesn't matter where he is, but probably this is his home rally and it's very special. And he always do well here.
How much are you looking forward, Juha, to work with Seb, to work with Kalle Rovanperä, Sami Pajari, Takamoto, Elfyn, 5 brilliant drivers this year. How much fun is that going to be involved in this team and along with them?
Let's say that it's hard work for the boys, but to keep the atmosphere high, and it will be fun as well. I have probably the best team in the world there, and I don't need to tell them very much about how to drive. They all know how to drive, but just keep them happy and cooperate with them and help as much as I can. But I'm very proud of that, and we will see how it goes. But I'm waiting for good results anyway.
Quick question, bit of advice please, Juha, bit of advice for us. The DirtFish car this weekend, we've got a decent car, but we've got David Evans driving. What little bit of advice would you give us on the road sections of Monte Carlo to make sure we get around safely? What is the most important thing for David Evans to bear in mind?
Yeah, here the traffic, and the roads is quite dangerous, so just take a bit more time. And don't try to be the fastest man there, but to be the safest man.
That's a very sound bit of advice, isn't it?
It is. Juha, we do have a couple of questions from those watching as well. This one is a brilliant question, in my opinion. Someone has asked, what's the story behind the black and round tyre?
The story behind that was so that normally they put under the tires mechanics like the plan was. And that was the end of the last stage in Ruuhimäki 99 with Subaru. I won the rally. And then first question was, because the weather was quite bad, what tires did you put under? I said, I would have said that I had no idea about, but it was just came to my mind that I think they are black and brown Pirellis. That is all what I know.
Legends.
We're really happy to see you back in the championship this year. It'll be brilliant to see what your guys can do this weekend. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you, Juha. Thank you, all the best. Thank you.
Juha, everybody. Wow. It is truly remarkable, Colin, to be joined by such greatness. It's amazing to see that he has an official
Are you
goal.
do-
but
I have to pinch
Are you doing that
myself.
me? As I arrive back? Such greatness.
You do have to pinch yourself, because I suspect I'm very much like you, Luke. I am still an enormous fan. And I do kind of come to Monte Carlo every year and think, yeah, I've got away with it for another year. And then to stand with legends like Sebastian Ogier, like Juha Kankkunen, it's just such a tremendous honour.
And you look at the guy, and yeah, of course he's aged a wee bit, but it's still all there.
Oh, you can see
know,
the sparkle,
eyes-
can't you?
Yeah.
The sparkle was still there.
Absolutely. And did he talk about doing donuts on a lake with me in a
No,
tractor?
not yet. But
Obviously not. He did give you some advice, though.
Did he?
Yeah.
Don't let me drive.
No, we didn't quite say that. I'll let you know later.
But there is actually a story on DirtFish.com of David's experience with Juha Kankkunen, which you feel free to check out. But Colin, just to pick you up, were you trying to say that I didn't play it that cool there with my stardom with Juha?
No.
You're
You're doing okay. You're doing okay.
Yeah.
But you are. I can see in you the
My
same
eyes.
as me. It is just that. Wow, it's Juha Kankkunen. You know, and it's particularly guys like Kankkunen who we haven't seen much over the last few years. We get a little bit blasé. I never get blasé about Ogier, but some of the others you can get a bit blasé about meeting. But someone like Kankkunen, it still makes you go, oh my word!
But, you
It's
know-
that moment where you want to get the phone out, take a
Yeah,
selfie.
exactly. You
you
do.
know.
But we had the same with Donna Kelly. At the end in October last year, Donna Kelly, a fantastic Irish champion rally driver, has an incredible collection of rally cars, and he brought together all of the superstars from British rallying through the 90s, and Ari Vatanen came on, a great friend of Donna's. And the two of us, I mean, you would have been the same, Cole. It was like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, it's Ari. And we again talked about that incredible 80. Have I told you the story about 1985?
Oh, yeah, no, I don't think you have, David. But
Just in case we didn't understand it the first time. No.
But speaking of being starstruck, we do have plenty of things to give away to you today, exclusively on this stream. Money cannot buy prize. We've already given away some rally plates and some hats, but next up, later on in the stream, we have this
Grab some
from
stuff.
Cali Robin
This
Perra.
is great. I absolutely love this. This stood on top of the podium
give that
in
to me.
Chile.
I
You
think
think you
this
could
will
squeeze
fit.
it
I think
into
that
your
will fit.
left arm?
It is amazing you see how fit these guys are.
There
The
is
size.
genuinely still a wee bit of grime. I mean, this is totally authentic. Yeah, really authentic.
Straight from Chile, straight from the top step of the podium.
But do you know what? Do you think how often would you wear these? Would you wear them once or twice?
I'm not being
Is it
funny, but
every-
is it drizzling a bit? Because that's quite damp.
It's a little damp. But here's the thing I'm thinking. That would have originally been white, and I'm thinking someone's put that through the wash with something that's a little bit bluey, maybe. Maybe a little bit bluey.
I
grey.
don't know whoever
don't
does
know.
the
I don't
laundry
know.
for Toyota, but you've done a fantastic
look
job.
at
Yeah,
the original Chile grime on the back of it.
that's
That
incredibly
isn't
cool.
all we've got, though, Cole.
Do you want
What's
to-
that
do you want
there
to
is
see some other things?
Chuck
the
us the-
shoes.
chuck
Give
us
us
the
the
shoes.
shoes.
I'm not going to chuck them. I'm going
No,
to
don't.
handle them with the absolute respect.
Let me take one of these.
Well, you can take one, I'll have the other.
But look
at
look,
these.
Taka
Whose could these be?
has not got the biggest feet.
Well, I was going to say, whose could they be?
Oh, sorry.
Whose could they
Ruined that a little
be?
bit.
You have a little bit.
He's not got the most decipherable
They're quite-
signature.
Would you call
either.
it dainty?
Dainty?
Would you call
yeah.
it dainty? Would you call it dainty? Would you call that dainty? Is that a little bit?
Yeah, you have a.
Yeah.
Well, the signature is on my side. There we are. Thank you, Elliot. Have you got
Would you
that?
ID
Look at
that as Taka?
Glad I did my nails, Elliot, before I came out here. Look, nice close up. Thank you.
I want this. It's easy, so easy for you to win this later on. All you'll have to do is answer a question that comes up on screen.
We've
We
only got
will
one
give
now.
you the prompt.
Yeah,
No, it's
Colin's
over there.
stolen one.
We will give you the prompt. All you have to do is leave the answer to that question in the comments and your social media username. I've been told I'm not allowed to enter. I want to. I might manage to get my phone out and just quickly slyly do it on the side. But
How do you undo
this
them?
stuff is.
I think I might have broken
Oh, I think David's broken it, but I've often wondered about
I know,
these.
it's fine.
Elliot, sorry, can we show this to the camera again, to camera one? These are interesting. The little, why would you have that? I suppose so that you don't have to tie the lace. Tying would perhaps.
Yeah, but Cole,
What do
don't
you
forget. Well, don't forget that legendary story of Louise Aitken Walker when she
went in the water?
She went in Portugal. She rolled down a mountainside. She went into the water, right to the bottom of a lake, and couldn't get out because her shoelace was
Wow,
caught
so
on
it's
the
probably
pedal.
got a number of purposes then.
I think it's just ease, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I
this?
think so. There we go.
I'm going to
There we are.
suggest that
Yeah.
we maybe put those back
Yeah.
back on the table
Back in
before.
my bag. Back in your bag, Luke.
One each. But like you say, it's so easy to win those. Literally, and the questions, they're not really that challenging, are they?
No.
So
No.
answer the question
Not
with
like-
your social media
Not
handle.
like our Christmas quiz. I got caught out by the Kankkunen question. I only lost because of the Kankkunen question.
we both lost because of a number of reasons, I think.
Now, you've mentioned, I guess, quiz and everything else, but challenges. It's not a very good segue, this. I'll be upfront up to it. But we do have the opportunity now to bring a little bit of information about the new tyres for 2025. Earlier on this week, actually just behind us here on Sunday at the official launch of the championship, Alistair Lindsay got the chance to learn more about the Hankook tyres. Take a look at this.
I'm following the rally since I'm in motorsport, and I'm in motorsport now since almost 30 years, but not at this level, to be honest. What we have done in the past was some national rallies, then we are a little bit inside the ERC, but we never had plans in the past to come to this level. Since we decide internally, now we go the big step further to become one of the leading tire companies in the world, and therefore you must be able to produce tires also for this category of cars. And from this moment onwards, you can imagine this was also for me one of my targets, to learn more about rally, also to fall in love with rally more and more. The road to here wasn't an easy one. The major problem was that we have not enough time. This was just 1 year of time to develop all the tires for the WRC. This was a tough time. This was an exciting time, and now we're here in Monte Carlo for the first rally. Honestly speaking, when I arrived here at this place this morning, I hold on for a second and says just wow. Impressive. This was really an impressive moment for me in person, and also for Hankook tire for sure. The biggest challenge at all was to develop the snow and ice tires, because the time period was that short. You know, the winter is just limited, and we have to push and push to make everything in time, and it looks like that we found the right way for the first step, and we are so far happy. The WRC was for us always one of the top level events in the global motorsports, and you can imagine a company like Hankook Tire, which is growing fast, and we have big dreams and big visions. We always try to get the top of the top events, and therefore the decision to become the proud partner of WRC was on top of the tops of our wish list. We are really, really happy how we work together with the manufacturers, with the drivers, with all the teams. We get feedbacks in any direction that means very positive, then something where they say, okay, there's some improvement needed and so on, but this is part of the game, and we are able to do everything to make the story successful and work further. What we expect for the future out of the WRC for the road cars is quite simple. For our SUV programs, we will learn a lot, because here we are going on really on the hard gravel situations. That means the tire gets a lot of stress and so on, and we will find the right materials for the later on mass production for the road legals. I visited several rallies. I was in Finland, I was in Sardinia and so on. Every rally is exciting for me. Kenya will be one of the really demanding one. I'm looking forward to see Portugal, what's going on, and also for Sweden, and for sure as a priority number one here, Rally Monte Carlo. Please ask me this question again at the end of the season, and I can give you a clear answer.
I have to say, David, it's always great when we welcome new companies, new brands, new people into the World Championship. Manfred seems like a great guy.
100%, and we talked about this earlier. Yeah. It is so exciting to have a new young company that's got a real sort of sense of adventure about the championship. And yeah, you know, we loved having Pirelli. We all love having Pirelli around. It's great. You know, they are part of the backbone of the sport. Bringing Hankook in, it's a refresh. It's incredible. So no, it's great. And Manfred is. Colt, did you have something?
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, just on the back of what you're saying there, the other important thing as well is your Pirelli is very much a traditional European-based supplier. Your Hankook coming from Asia, from Korea. Again, it's really important, isn't it, that we build on the progress that we're making with rallying in that region? Yeah,
exactly. It's the championship spreading its word, isn't it? You know, there's a whole bunch of Hankook dealerships all around the world that are talking about the World Rally Championship, which is vital. And you asked about Manfred. Great guy. You know, I've only spoken to him a couple of times. I think Alistair was here on Sunday, so Alistair obviously did the interview.
Yes.
He's met him a lot more, but I've spoken to Manfred a couple of times on the phone. And the really exciting thing and a really good thing, I think, about their approach is that they're taking it step by step. You know, I asked him a couple of questions, and he was like, I'm not really sure about that. We're doing the development work. I'll come back to you. He came back to us with the right answer, so they're doing it exactly the right way.
Yeah, speaking of things that are exciting in the right way, again, terrible segue. We'll get better.
It's pretty good. I'm giving you 6 out of 10 for this one. I've not heard the rest of it.
No, the problem is I'm giving up too quickly. Is the problem. I'm fronting up to it. But as you may have seen, I think one of the overhead shots earlier on, there's actually now quite an atmosphere building behind us. The autograph signing session, just as you can see, an incriminating shot of the lack of hair I've got on the top of my head there. Fantastic autograph signing there for all the drivers and co-drivers. Yeah, it's always a great opportunity, I guess, David. If you're a rally fan right right now to get up and close to these guys. In a few hours, they'll be tackling the Monte Carlo Rally. And here, they're going to be hanging out, as you can see now. I can see Alex Correa had a birthday yesterday. See Grégoire Munster. They're all there.
You sort of say that, but actually no, because look, you know, autographs. You want autographs? We've got you covered already. We're how many questions in are we?
Two.
So
There's 2 more giveaways.
2 more opportunities to get the only autographs that matter here in Casino Square in Monaco today. What have we got to do, Cole?
You've got to enter the competition, and it's a relatively straightforward competition, and there are a number of competitions still to come.
2.
That's a
just
number.
said that.
That's a number.
Yeah, but the process, you answer the question and you put your answer in the comments.
Answer the question in the comments with your username, your
Social media
handle.
like DirtFish Rally.
You know, now we're talking about it, I'm feeling like we should actually do one. Shall
Yes,
we?
What's the next prize?
The next prize
like
is the Takamoto Katsuta Safari Rally Kenya worn boots. Stood on the podium, second place last year.
Excuse me while I go. Excuse me.
There you go. Throw it to the camera.
Oh,
there we are.
Back to the camera. I don't know.
Anyway,
these are them.
That's really cool.
The question you will need to answer to have your chance of winning this incredible prize is, who is the control tyre supplier in the WRC?
We are making it difficult for you, are we?
We're not really.
We really aren't.
It wasn't planned that to be so seamless, to be fair. You've got 4 minutes 50 seconds to get your answer. And as we've been saying, if you think you know the answer, and I hope you do, to be honest, if you've been looking around, spell however you fancy it, but it's not difficult either. Drop that in the comments, along with, as Colin said earlier, your social media username. That is so we know how to contact you after the stream is over. The winners of these boots will be announced at the end of the stream, along with the 2 other prizes earlier as well. So make sure you're sticking around to around about 2:30 to find out if you have won.
What happens at 2:30?
Thierry Neuville hits off the start ramp.
Across that wonderful start ramp. It does look wonderful, doesn't it? In front of the casino with the hotel.
Elliot, have you zoomed into the start ramp?
It is great.
We should zoom in a little bit.
Well, if you just move, David, you're blocking the start ramp.
There's a lot of me.
Well, come this way, that way. Look at that.
Am I standing out the way?
It is very, very impressive indeed, isn't it?
And every one of the 70 crews will go over there, and on Sunday, it doubles as the finish ramp.
Yep.
Which is it's a small change. It finishes back here in Casino Square. It used to be up at the Palace.
Well, they always had the ceremony up at the Palace, didn't they? So the prize-giving ceremony was always with the Prince, or it was always the Prince up at the Palace. So, yeah, I'm sure that's the same this year.
Yeah. You're going to ask a question, but I've got to say, was that a splash of rain I felt?
No, David. No, don't. Have a look.
No, sorry.
Okay, good.
Sorry.
Stop being scared of the rain, David. You're going to bring it on if you're not careful. We want snow and we want it later on. But we do have
I would say it's snowing up there now. Definitely.
It's not so helpful when the viewers can't see that, is it? But there we are.
In the mountains.
We do have some more questions. Thank you very much for submitting these. We're enjoying answering them. If you have any more, drop them in the comments, as well as your answer to the question that is on screen to win the Takamoto Katsuta race boots from last year. But the question is from Gerard.
3 minutes to go.
Red Bull livery in WRC. Who did it best? Citroen, VW, or M Sport Ford? David.
M Sport.
No, I'll tell you who did it best. I'm sorry, but here's something. So back in the day, the Skodas, the Skoda Fabia, the green and white. No, wait a second.
I know where you're
going. The green and white Skoda Fabia was a pretty average-looking car.
The Harry Rovanpera car?
No, later, the last of the Skodas. And remember, they went to the Austrian. What was his name? Was it Baumschlager for the last year? It was almost a semi-private team in Red Bull livery, and it was like a reborn car. It looked different. It went faster. Just because of the Red Bull livery. I love that.
But that wasn't an option.
No,
he's not allowed
it wasn't,
to
but he's gone out. I will say, you probably offended a lot of people. There's a lot of love for the old Skoda cars.
I've offended a lot more people.
For me, that M Sport, actually, that wasn't actually the car I was talking about. I was thinking about the Fiesta, the 17 car.
Yes.
Which for me, I mean, oh my goodness, that was the car. We've been up to Dunby to M Sport and seen. I think it's still in the museum, the showroom at the front there, and it is just absolutely beautiful.
It really was. And you're right, with those cars that you mentioned, the M Sport one was absolutely the one that stood out.
Yeah.
The drivers, as you can probably hear from the announcement behind us, are locked in there and doing their autograph signing. So part of me is tempted to go down and get some more myself. And
you don't need. We've got them.
But I can't win these.
What is wrong with you,
myself? But we do have another question. 1 minute 30 seconds as well to get your competition answer in. But this one is from The One. It says, what do you guys think will some manufacturers like Subaru, Volkswagen, Audi and such return to rally after the new FIA regulations. So essentially, do we think the 2027 regs will bring in more manufacturers back to the WRC, David?
I think it opens the door to do that. It gives it gives almost a clean sheet of paper. It says to them, whatever you've got, we're willing to talk about it. And I think it's far less prescriptive than we've seen regulations, certainly in the last, probably going back to World Rally Car, so since '97. So yeah, for me, it does open the door. I think what we absolutely crucially have to get right is the delivery of value from an investment in the championship.
Right.
They absolutely have to get the promotion right. We have to be in North America. Clearly, DirtFish, based out of Washington, we want to be in North America anyway. We can see we're going there next year. That's so important to the manufacturers. So, yeah, I think technical regulations, you can do what you want. The manufacturers will come if they derive value from participation and investment in the championship. Get that right, and we'll have service parks absolutely rammed.
No, I totally agree with you. You couldn't have put it better. It doesn't really make any difference saying, well, okay, it might cost you 100 million to enter now. We're going to bring that down to 25 million. That is still a wasted 25 million if you're not deriving value from the championship. If you offer the manufacturer 10 million to enter the championship, well, it doesn't matter. It's wasted 10 million unless they can see the value that's being derived. So, really important to get the technical regulations right, which will certainly pique the interest of new manufacturers. More importantly, deliver the value, and they will flood into the championship.
Now, as you will have seen on screen, the competition to win the Takamoto Katsuta signed race boots is now closed. So please do not answer the question in the comments anymore. That question, for those who are interested in the answer, we kind of accidentally played it right after a VT about it. Didn't really make it too difficult for you, but who is the controlled tyre supplier in the WRC? That answer, of course, was Hankook. So if you put that answer in and your social media username, you are officially entered in with a shot of winning those. And if you have won, your name will be called out at the end of the stream, and we'll be in contact with you in due course. But just while we have this gap as well, I'm going to ask another couple of questions. This one's from
one quick one. If you want to read terms and conditions,
oh yeah, good point.
So I've forgotten about that.
No, you're
should have said that at the top of the show. Terms and conditions are in the story announcing the live stream. So go and have a read.
You haven't memorised them. You can't just read them now.
Okay, right. So number one. No.
Yeah, and just to be clear, that's dirtfish.com. So hopefully that goes without saying. But just in case you're searching somewhere and you can't find it,
is there any other website? EWRC.
It's the only website in the world. Only two
websites in the world you need to be interested in.
We have a question from Alicia. Thank you very much, Alicia, for your question. David, any chance we'll see DirtFish back at Rally Otago this year?
Otago? Well, sadly, not this year. We're not going. We're taking a year out. We did the last 2 years. Brilliant. It was all great. We know Chris Meek's going back, but no, DirtFish won't be there. We are talking to Roger and Norm Oakley down there about getting content up on the site. So yeah, I mean, for me, I would go every year. I think we've had a great couple of years there, Colin and I, and yeah, we look. I think we're talking to Roger about being back in 26, and potentially one of the things we're looking at is bringing in the opportunity for drivers from North America, from Washington, or from anywhere in America to go down there on a kind of a rally exchange system. Or Jeff Judd has these incredible Subaru H6s for hire. We would like to maybe take some of those cars and book those cars out and offer them to American drivers to fly down and compete in the event. A sort of an arrive and drive operation we're looking at in 26. So yeah, Otago is incredible. We talked about one of the great spectacles. Rally New Zealand is one of the most amazing events. We were back there in
3 years ago now?
Yeah.
When Rothenperra won his first championship.
Yes, yeah, which was
2022. Yeah.
And it's a beautiful part of the world. And for me, missing out, you have a great affiliation with Australia
and
the
New Zealand.
fact that we're not there is kind of a crime. There's a whole
I get my fix of it, you're right, and I'm very lucky I get my fix of it. Yeah. But the big thing for me about Otago is what we discussed earlier about manufacturers is value. The participants get tremendous value because they are looked after by the organisers. I think last year was there only one repeat stage. I mean, there were so many new stages running. They're quality stages. There's no filler stages on the Otago. They are all driver stages that are beautiful to watch, beautiful to drive, and it is a special event. And
Curry Bush
Pretty
Go
much
look
one
at the
of the world's
onboard.
best stages.
You've stolen the thought from my head. I was
Sorry,
going to say,
sorry,
no,
mate.
that's good. There is a fantastic onboard on YouTube of Chris Meek and
Yeah.
Noel O'Sullivan doing that stage. It's a brilliant stage, but I think more than that, Noel O'Sullivan's notes for me, brilliant. I love an Irish accent, so it works for me. It's a great stage. Another question from our friends at EA Sports WRC. Hello, guys. They have asked, thoughts on the 2025 cars without hybrid? They looked good in shakedown. David, it's obviously one of the big changes this year, isn't it? No longer got any hybrids.
It can't, yeah, absolutely. It is a big change there. The minimum weight of the cars has come down from 1260 to 1180. I think is that 80
They've lost
kilos.
80 kilos.
Lost 80 kilos.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they've we know that the hybrid parts was worth about 100 kilos. It was crucially it was worth 134 horsepower in 10-second bursts. We have all enjoyed that spectacle of a 550 horsepower rally car tearing through the lanes and stuff. We missed that, but the cars were heavier, they were less manoeuvrable. So, you know, it's a shame. But, you know, fundamentally, Col, I have to say, I never saw the point of hybrid.
No,
we have sustainable fuel.
Yep.
We did not
Yep.
need hybrid. I almost went really strong on that
And you
then
stopped
throttled back
yourself.
a wee bit. What do you think?
No, I agree with you entirely, and I think, you know, taking the hybrids out, the drivers clearly enjoy that extra burst of power. As a spectacle, it won't be anything less.
No, it won't.
You will not, and you only
Sorry,
have to
that
look
was the
back.
question.
You only have to look back to Poland and Sesks in Poland in the car without the hybrids. And you didn't look at Sesks and go, "Oh, that's looking slow and boring." No way, no way. And I know that was a particular rally, the fast gravel rally. They will be as spectacular. The level of competition will, in some ways, be better because we haven't got it.
I was watching him.
What
I was
was it?
watching him.
What was it? Was it a wasp?
It was a
It was a
Bee,
wee
it's fine.
bumblebee.
You know, because we had that unfair element where some drivers suffered with a hybrid that wasn't functioning, others clearly had a bit more luck with it. So take that out, no hybrids, no problems for me. We do have that sustainability element in the fuels and the lubricants. Let's go and just have fun with these cars.
And you got it exactly right then. I didn't really answer the question. Apologies for that. I think the spectacle will be exactly the same. The spectacle, a lot of that comes from the aero. You know, we had this debate, I think we talked about it on a podcast, that my feeling was with this Hankook tyre, they needed to almost under-tyre the car, to, you know, make the compound a little bit harder, give the cars less grip. And I talked about this with Tom Fowler, the technical director at Toyota, and Tom said, well, yeah, I can see that, but don't forget, you look at some of the most spectacular sequences of corners, and it's in the real high speed, and it is those on tarmac with the car skipping through corner.
Beautiful.
And you get that from aero grip.
Yeah,
don't
that's
you?
true. That's very true.
Yeah, and that hasn't gone.
No, not at all.
Is the
Not at
same.
all.
They've got a slightly smaller restrictor, 36 down to 35, I think. But yeah, the spectacle, and these are the best drivers in the world. Let's not forget that. You know, whatever they drive, they will drive. I remember talking to Colin McRae about, you know, what about the future? And Colin said, hey, give me a wheelbarrow. I'll be spectacular.
And they are still the best cars in the world, David.
That was a Scottish accent.
It wasn't bad. It's not the most powerful car in the world isn't the best car in the world.
No.
But these are the best rally cars in the world, and there's no question about that. And they're not anything less in that regard than they were last year.
No.
Well, you know, speaking of, I don't know if you can actually hear it over our microphones, but the cars are now approaching just to our left, down over there where I'm pointing on this camera shot now. They're all parking up outside the casino, so this is really starting to get me excited. Can you feel it?
It's a ceremonial start, but it is a very functional part of the event. This is time control 1A or something. This is where everything begins. You can't go into the hills without coming over that arc.
But David, this is the other thing that's so important about what you talked about, the fact that we have an answer to the environmental issues. We have sustainable fuel, we have sustainable lubricants, we have sustainable combustion engines.
Yes,
you know,
we do.
and that for me, I don't even have to see the car, and I can feel the hairs on the back of my neck going up. And it is such an important element of not just rallying, but motorsports.
But you know, Cole, we were in Chile, and yes, electric is a crucial, really key part of our future, potentially. We were in Chile at the ceremonial start, and they did a fantastic job of building the excitement. It was amazing. And there must have been 20, 30,000 people there that were just absolutely, totally plugged in. They were. And it was like, whoever was leading the championship, he's coming over the ramp, and here he goes.
It was awful.
And it just killed the vibe completely, totally. So
it was the Hellers, wasn't it? It was the Heller who was, it's what we've talked about many times. The need for local heroes in top-line rally cars. He's there in a Rally 1 car, I think it was at Pedro Heller, and the crowd, they were throwing gifts. The crowd were they were on the edge of hysteria. On the edge of hysteria. And you're thinking, here we go. So was I. Here we go. Oh no. Oh no.
Now, it's great for us to all talk about it, watch it, and we're getting excited about it, but you, of course, can drive a rally car at DirtFish Rally School as well. Nice and easy, loads of different options available for you. Check this out.
Don't forget, everyone, DirtFish. What do we do best? Well, we're a rally school, and we are the best rally school out there. So if you want to learn to drive, there really is only one place to go. DirtFish.com, have a look at the videos, find out all about the wonderful range of classes that we offer for you to go out and hone your skills as a potential rally driver.
No, I've done a half day at DirtFish before. I'll be honest, I didn't look like that. Those clips are done by...
I think that was me in the car.
You think it was you?
Why doesn't that surprise me?
It might not have been me. Oh, it's just that, you talk about Cole, you talk about the hair standing on the back of your neck. You watch that, we've got a little monitor in front of us here. To see that place, that school, our school in Snoqualmie, it is just incredible. And we've got the best people in the world, starting with Steve Rimmer at the top, Josie Rimmer, Nate Tennis, Jack Harrison. They're all there. We've got so many incredible instructors that just live and breathe this sport. They get out of bed absolutely desperate to go to work and teach people to... Sorry, mate.
No, I was going to say, that's my fault for interrupting you, David. So you carry on. If you feel I'm being an interrupting, difficult person, carry on. But I was going to say...
I would never stop.
You wouldn't. Nate was brave enough to take me for a half-day course.
He's not going to make that mistake again.
Honestly, by the end of that half-day course, I felt a little bit of the Sebastian Ogiers in me. I felt a little bit. Obviously, it all disappeared rather quickly with me, but it was there. And the most important thing is I understood a little bit more about the way that those cars function. I know I'm never going to be a rally driver.
Do you? Let me take you to Estonia. Let me take you to Estonia.
No, I didn't want to be a rally driver. I just wanted to beat you. I wanted to beat you, and the fact I was consistently quicker than you was a highlight of my life.
I was warming myself up. It's not about the preparation. It's about the preparation.
So are you a pressure player, David? Is that what you're saying? Did you rise to the
occasion?
I was treating every lap like a recce. And we were so fortunate. Marco Martin took us to this incredible track.
It was great.
And we were in cross karts. And there's a video out there, and it was just amazing.
My
so
cross
much
kart
fun.
has never, ever been the same again.
Well, it quite literally hasn't.
I think
they've retired it. Parked in the barrier.
Back to DirtFish. What I came away with from that half-day course was a far better understanding of issues and techniques that help me in my everyday driving. This might sound like an advert, but anyone that knows me knows it's true.
It is true, and that's what we said earlier. We touched on this earlier with the winter driving program. It gives you that confidence to actually go out and drive your car. And to go to the school, it's a half day, it's a 1 day, it's a 2 day, it's a 3 day. We've got private lessons, we've got everything. And as well as these incredible rally prepared Subaru BRZs and WRXs, which are sensational to drive, beautifully prepared. And the stage, we've got 300 acres in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, is it? I don't know, I might have got that wrong. I'm pretty sure. I always get that bit wrong. Brenton's
Cascade Mountains.
Cascade Mountains.
Come on, David. Cascade Mountains. I was waiting for that. I just let you just get deep.
I'm useless at geography.
What was remind us what your degree was. Remind us what your degree was.
It wasn't American geography.
Joint honours in...
Shush.
No, go back.
BK, where are the Appalachians? A complete opposite side. Okay, so... Right, but regardless, a mountain's a mountain, and it's absolutely beautiful. Obviously it's the Cascade Mountains, so yeah, it's there. It's an amazing place, and you don't just get the opportunity to go and drive cars. You get the opportunity to meet some sensational people. It's genuinely one of the best places in the world.
Where are the Blue Ridge Mountains?
The Blue Ridge Mountains are in Sydney.
The Blue Ridge Mountains off
Sydney.
Virginia.
What's the blue things in Sydney?
The mountains. The Blue Mountains, you're right. The Blue Mountains, but not the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Just forgive me a second. I didn't realise we were going to go down the jog route either. So my sympathies are with you. I'm sitting here trying to grasp and control back over this. But
fundamentally, the point is, go to DirtFish. Go to drive.dirtfish.com. You'll find all of the classes through the whole year, and it's not just the classes, it's the thrill rides that we do, it's haunted hot laps. Of course, May this year, it is the DirtFish Women in Motorsport Summit. We have got the most amazingly exciting news coming about that. All thanks to Josie Remmer, our sensational Women in Motorsport coordinator. Honestly, there's so much going on with the school. It's great. And there's me, look, driving again. That's me. No, everyone's going slowly. That's me, going quickly.
Slow-mo cameras can make everyone look slow.
That's definitely me.
We do have another question in, though, so thank you very much for submitting that. We are enjoying these. You can actually tell where a lot of our audience is based as well, because we're from Ireland. Again here, it's Dean Kelly, and he's even just says, "Hi, my name is Dean from Ireland." Hello, Dean.
Always useful,
How are you, mate? He asks, if the rally was held in Ireland, who would be your favourite to win? Who can master the wet and tight lanes?
Grégoire Munster.
Because he's been to Hello. Yeah.
Oh, you'd have to say that's absolutely a good shout. But would you look beyond Ogier, a man that seems to learn? If he came, a man that learns quicker than anyone, a man that computes quicker than anyone. Could you look beyond Ogier? Not sure. Neuville's used to the wet, slippery, tight lanes of Belgium.
Yeah, it's about that, but it's also about that generation of drivers who could go to a new event. And there's not many. Ogier, Danny Sordo, other people who, they went to a new event when we didn't have Rally Live. We didn't have onboards and onboards and onboards that you could watch and watch and watch and watch. And these drivers they had a gift, didn't they? And have an ability to go in, make a 2-pass recce, and get on with it.
Understand those roads.
Exactly, and they have that ability to just apply themselves in different ways and adapt to the conditions. And Ogier, absolutely, Carlos Sainz was another the great one that could go there and win without going there before.
So who would win? Say it was this year. Say it was this year with these drivers.
Grégoire Munster. In a Toyota Starlet.
Bring it back for WRC. I would say Elfyn. I do think Elfyn, and I don't know if it's because he's got a little bit of experience there, and he's tended to go well on tarmac and when it's difficult and tricky, changeable conditions.
I'm sorry to interrupt there, but we talked to Elfyn about what was your favourite event or your favourite stage, and there was a stage, was it Hamilton's Folly or something like that? Well, when he comes, we'll ask him.
Oh, Folly, the one in the north.
Over the big jump.
Yeah.
What is that called?
Hamilton, the jump.
Do you think of the Gap, Mole's Gap?
No, it's the one well north.
Where north? Up near the Giant's Causeway.
Tor Head.
Yeah,
that one?
Yeah.
The one right at the north of the country.
But anyway,
we'll find out.
I'm sure, and he may well prove us wrong now, but one of his favourite stages was in Ireland, or his favourite stage was in Ireland. Then, we overlooked him. He would be the man.
It's a useful tease actually to talk about Elfyn Evans, because if you are just joining us, first of all, hello, thank you very much. Please
where have you
along
been?
with us. Everyone's busy.
We've been busy. Have you not been busy?
We have been joking about it to ourselves before going live as well. A lot of you probably are at work just now as well, but stick us on anyway. Just put it on mute or blast it out to everybody. It might be lunchtime for you now, actually, so just have a bit of fun around the canteen.
Introduce us to your boss. Just say, look, this is the future. DirtFish and the World Rally Championship. We need to be watching it. We need it on the big screen.
Yeah. But we are here, of course, ahead of the start of the 2025 Monte Carlo Rally, our first round of 14 this year. We have been live since around about 11:30. Of course, if you have missed any of that, this will be available to watch later on the YouTube channel, so make sure you are subscribed and don't miss that. But we're giving away competition prizes as well. We've already done some, which was rally plates, rally hats and signed boots. The final one will come a bit later on in the stream, and it is a signed Nomex top from Cali Rovampera. Colin's picked up the wrong thing, so he's just trying to be smooth.
We've done that already.
I thought we'd done this already, but let's do it again. Why not? Here we are,
should we get Cole to put it on?
No.
I think we should.
No.
Put it on, Cole.
But okay.
Go off and put it on and come and model it.
No, can I ask a question? Quickly ask everyone in the comments, if you are going to win this, do you want Colin Clark to have won it?
Yes, because it's in Calais and Colin.
I think that devalues it.
That does rather. Do you really want to see me in the skin tight top? Do you want to see me in it?
The fact David does really badly worries me a little bit, actually.
Yeah, that's true. You definitely don't want to see Luke and I in that.
What are you trying to say?
Sorry, I have no idea. Please, if you're listening, HR, just ignore that bit.
But yeah, we do have plenty of drivers to come later. At the minute, they are just down there at the autograph session. So they're dealing with all the fans here at Casino Square. We'll have a bunch of them coming up later on. We're aiming to be live until around about 2:30, which is when Thierry Neuville will go over the start ramp behind us and officially commence the Monte Carlo Rally.
Not roundabout 2:30.
Right,
Bang on,
2:30.
And he goes from where? From here to where?
Pass.
Dean-les-Bains for the opening stage.
Yeah.
Which is quite a long drive north, David, isn't
But
it?
they stop halfway.
Tell us about Peugeot 10 There's a story there.
Shut up. There is a story about Peugeot Denier, and I'm not going to tell it.
It's tyre fitting place, isn't it?
It's a tyre fitting
traditional tyre. That's the story.
It was somewhere that I had to make an emergency stop. Let's just say that, and it may be a story that I've told a few times. But yeah, they stopped. But I don't think the tyre fitting zone's there. But yeah, they stopped halfway between here and Dean. Put the right tyres on. So when they leave here, they haven't made their choice for the whole loop.
Yeah.
And this is one of the aspects that's so complex about Monte Carlo and all rallies, is that they will make their choice around about 5 o'clock this evening. They'll put the tyres on, they'll take 2 if they want to in the boot, but then at 9, 10, whenever the last stage, the third and final stage of this evening is, that's the only choice they've got. And tomorrow morning they'll make their choice super early. Sunday's always the one, isn't it? It's like 6 a.m. or something, 5:30, and they're still using those tyres.
And it's always a compromise choice, and it's that calculation that we talked about, isn't it? You work out where you expect there to be some snow, maybe some ice, maybe some dry tarmac, some wet tarmac.
How's it going to evolve as the sun comes up?
How's it going to evolve? Absolutely, and you make that compromise choice for not just for the first stage, not for the last stage, for all
4 or 5
stages
hours
in the
later.
Yeah, it's such a difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
Just to put a bit of geographical context around that, and I'll be honest, I'm going to defer to my colleagues for this because they're far more experienced. This is my
about
first
the
Monte.
Appalachians again.
No, not that. But this is my first Monte, so I'm going to use that as my excuse.
Are these the Appalachians?
Siri, me. He's derailing my thoughts now. As I say, you've been talking about the stages tonight. The rally does move itself up to Gap as an overnight halt for today. That's essentially where the rally's based for the duration. We come back down towards Monaco on Sunday. But David, give us a bit of a flavour, if you can, of the kind of stages. And maybe I should come to you, Colin, as well, actually, because your memory is razor sharp for things that have happened in all these mountains.
Razor sharp, but slightly woolly around the edges. So we do head up to Gap, and we do have this first stage tonight in Digne-les-Bains. And then the stages later on this evening just south of Gap, just southwest of Gap. We head to the service area, which is to the south of the centre of Gap. And tomorrow we head past Ogier's home. We go north up, can't remember the name of the road, but it rises rapidly out of Gap to a very high plateau, and then we continue to rise. Now, we go maybe 40 k's along that road to the north of Gap. And if you remember back to the days when Kubica was competing, and that incredible section of road where they were tiptoeing around that right-hander, Kubica dropped off the edge, Evans came along, tipped him further off the edge. That is where we go on Friday. On Saturday, we go to the west of Gap. Now, if you want context for those stages, remember, Kubica led the rally on the first day. Those were the stages we went to. Not so high up, but there's a section, I think, in the opening stage that day that always has snow and ice and always presents issues for the drivers. Then on Sunday, as you say, we make our way back down. Again, we're just to the south of Gap for the first 2, and then we come here. So, David, the mountains are called the what mountains?
They're definitely the Appalachians.
These are the Alpes Maritimes just behind us.
Those as well.
He did a joint honours degree in geography. I didn't.
Yeah.
So we come back to the Alpes Maritimes, we head up to the legendary. What are we calling the stage this year? Because we always call it the Col di Turini, but that's not the name of the stage.
It's not officially called.
It's not
No,
called
but
that.
it is known universally as Turini, and that's one of the really interesting parts about Monte is it can be completely dry really and not a lot of snow, and then you get these pockets where there is always snow, and you never forget those incredible stories of Sisteron when you go up to the top to the hairpins at the top of Sisteron. There is, because they're north facing, there is always snow and ice there, and so you've gone for the whole stage on the slick. You get there, and then you've got to literally.
I remember, what was that year, David?
I got another story, but carry on.
No, but that year, you can't move on beyond Sisteron. Remember when they went in the opposite direction? So you talked about, yes, the hairpins out of Sisteron, but occasionally they go the other way, into Sisteron. Remember, and Meek went off, and so many of them went off on that slippery section. And I think it may even have been the first stage of the rally. And as you say, they all knew what was there.
Yeah,
they all knew what to expect, but it still catches them out. And that's what I love about this event. You might know what's there, but do you know how to deal with it?
Yes, and do you have the tyres beneath you to deal with it? And this is the bit of the story that I remember the first time I came here and we went out onto a stage to watch Colin McRae, and we'd gone to this really, really fast section into like a fast left-hander or whatever, and then it was sheet ice round the corner. He went out into the shade and it was sheet ice, and I was like, oh my, this is going to be incredible. You watch McRae come steaming sideways through here, and he came absolutely ripping along the tarmac, and as he came and approached his left-hander, stood on the brakes, turned the anti-lag down, and literally tiptoed. And I could have virtually walked faster across the ice, and then came out the other side, whacked the ALS back up and just went. And I said to Colin at the end, what's going on? You know, I'm a bit of a Monty newbie here. And he's like, well, you literally have no grip. And they weren't on a pure slick, but they were on a proper, you know, pretty good slick tyre. And he said, you simply can't drive the car there. And it was incredible that they go that slowly. And they say that, don't they, about these hairpins in Cisteron or wherever. If you think you're going slowly, you're still going too quick.
Now, we do have some more questions, so thank you very much for that. As I've been saying quite a few times throughout the stream, if you have been around from the start, drop them in whenever you can and just put them in the comments, and we'll do our best to get round to them all. This one comes from Scubitus, who says, what is your opinion on current amount of regulated areas of the cars in the sport? Should there be more regulations and control or less? And on what area of the sport? So it's actually quite a niche question, but quite general. So essentially, is rallying too regulated now, or should there be?
Well, whether or not it is, it's potentially about to be less regulated in 27. I think that you could say, yeah, the regulations are very defined, they're very prescribed, but they're done for a reason. You know, we have a limited number of engines and transmissions, and for a reason. It's to keep costs down. Now, we touched on this earlier, that we said that if you increase the value, you don't need to worry so much about the costs. I think right now, yeah, it probably is. Bit over some.
I wouldn't normally try and cut you off, David Evans, but we do have a Rally 1 driver waiting to come in. Mr. Josh McErlean of M Sport Ford coming in shot.
How are you guys?
How are you, mate?
I won't shake, it's a sweaty hand. Josh, this is the first time we've actually really properly spoken to you since the news has come out. At this point, you're an hour and a half away from starting Rally Monte Carlo in a Rally 1 car for the full year. How have you woken up from the dream?
I would need to wake up very quickly. Obviously, it's still a dream. To be standing here in Casino Square with even signing autographs alongside these guys is honestly unreal. But yeah, as you say, we need to wake up. It's going into the dark now in 3 stages, big stages, and yeah, a lot to go through.
Do you like the dark?
Yes, no, it depends obviously what it is. I'm not sure of the conditions yet. It seems quite mixed bag at the minute. Maybe some black ice, so yeah, proper Monday.
But you had, good shakedown yesterday, good times and good test as well. You got a lot of miles in.
Yeah, good test, good shakedown. It started quite slowly, but we knew that was going to be the case. Obviously, going to that road that everyone's been on for several years now. But step by step, we done it, and I think we have to take that approach into the weekend.
Weirdly, I guess the driving part might almost be the easy bit for you. That's what you know best. How have you, I guess, grown accustomed to all this extra interest in you? Because it's not to say that people didn't pay attention when you're in WRC2, but you step up to Rally 1 and suddenly everybody's wanting to talk to you, they're wanting pictures, they're wanting the autographs. Are you growing used to being the star of the show?
Exactly that. I think going to Monte itself, there's a lot of extra media activities to do. It's just trying to manage your time. Obviously, you're trying to get recce, pace notes, everything in between, but yeah, you have to step outside that a bit now, and I would say you have to have a really productive recce, because honestly, the time management after recce to the start of the rally is nothing. So some late nights, some early mornings, but yeah, that's why we're here.
We have got a question from somebody just watching us just now, from 63 MIJ, who asks you quite a simple question, and one you're probably wondering yourself at the minute. How much of a step up is Rally 1 from Rally 2?
Yeah, it's a big step up. Honestly, the car, the power, the aerodynamics, it's quite hard to get accustomed to. And especially whenever you go to tricky conditions, maybe in dry tarmac, it's a lot easier to, let's say, know what the car is capable of or push the limits. But we're here at the first round. It's a 14-round season, so we have to take it step by step. There's nothing I would say special this weekend. Maybe if it feels good, we'll start pushing. But honestly, for the first couple of stages, we need to be sensible. And
we need to let you go. But one very quick question: who is your biggest rally idol?
Yeah, I think the world champion Sebastian Ogier, Sebastian Loeb,
and Luke Barry.
Obviously, you guys.
Good answer. Josh, we'll see you later on. Thank you very much. Josh McErlean there, M Sport.
Big moment.
But he looks
You
calm.
talked about having a sweaty hand. Josh had a bit of a sweaty hand. If we'd had a bit of a moment longer, I would have asked, how did you sleep last night?
Yeah.
Because you come down to the sort of rudimentary aspects of this. It is the biggest day of his life right now. It's massive. And, there's no escaping the pressure. He comes in, you ask him the question immediately. Down there at 2 o'clock, there's a bit of a media thing. He's going to be asked that question over and over again. And there's a moment, Colin, you just want to get in the car, shut the door, get out onto the road, and just drive.
But dealing with all of this is part of the learning process, and he has to be able to get on top of it. And it's such an enormous transition for him. You could understand him being nervous. You could understand him making mistakes. But a measure of the man is how he deals not just with the pressure on the stages, but the pressure off the stages. I'm confident for him.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm cutting across, but he did look. I've known Josh for quite a number of years, and I've not seen him actually almost look that in the zone. And I know we're very close to the start of the rally, but he does actually look like he's prepared for this challenge. I think that's the big fear with this, isn't it? Is we know that he's obviously not had as much experience as any of the other drivers he's up against, so he's the one that has, in a way, the most to gain, but also the most to lose potentially as well. But all he has to do is be sensible.
That's exactly it, Luke. He's got his strategy, and that strategy has to be take it steady, middle of the road, take the conservative tyre choice all the time. And he said that, if the times are coming, maybe give it a bit of a push. Don't. There's nothing, you can only lose if you're coming into sort of Saturday afternoon and, we're getting there now, and then you go off, you've missed a bunch of stages. You haven't done Turini on the Sunday. So just keep it in the middle of the road.
Keep it in the middle of the road and don't worry about the times. I don't know how possible that is these days. I remember Hayden Paddon, I think it may have been his first outing in a World Rally car, absolutely adamant. And I was doing stage ends at the time, Julian Porter was doing stage ends, and he phoned us both the night before and said, guys, do me a favour, I really don't want to know anything about my performance, whether it's good or bad. I don't want to know. I really don't want to be distracted by that. I won't be looking at the boards. The team know not to tell me times, and it's that level of focus that's perhaps needed. I don't know whether it's possible these days.
I'm not sure it is, Cole, because inevitably in the back of his mind he'll know, right, that last year that stage time was 13:26. I want to be around, whatever, within 14 minutes. And then if he's great, if he's 13 minutes 30, wow, I've got this licked. But if he's 15:20 or something, it's you just got, as you say, you've got to ignore it, do your own thing.
Yeah, I think what will be interesting for me actually is just to work out which rallies this year prove to be his strongest. I think we know Monte Carlo, with all of its particularities, that's the word, sort of fudge that together, but very specific event, very unique challenges. It's not one he can be a hero at. There are rallies later on in the year, I think, where if he gets a bit more confidence, he's got more experience of. I'm not suggesting he's going to go right up there and go for a flat-out push, but we might actually see a little bit more of the true potential. We're not going to see that at the first half of the year because he's building. Collins massively disagreeing.
Yeah, I really hope that's not the case. I think he's got an enormous opportunity. If you're a young rally driver in Ireland right now, you're best placed. You're in terms of opportunities, they are there. And I suspect, I don't know the terms of the deal, but I suspect there's a very good chance that there is something in place for next year as well. And I've said it so many times, Pierre-Louis was a great example. Early, middle part of last year was an example with Munster. You learn nothing sitting in a ditch at the side of the road watching your opponents go by. And if you've got the opportunity to come back next year to build on this year's experience, then he doesn't want to be a hero anywhere this year. He really doesn't. He wants to make. No, he doesn't. No, he does not. No, he does not.
But there will be events. There will be events that in his career, in his program, he will have built up to. He will have done Finland maybe more.
Portugal, he's done a lot of times. Sardinia, Finland.
He looked good in Finland this year until he crashed on that last corner, didn't he? Was it Finland on the first?
One of the fast rallies.
Yeah. One of the fast rallies.
But there are events, Cole, where he's got a bank of knowledge, of data. Yes, it's WRC2 or even lower formula, but he knows what the road does. He understands the conditions. And then if he's feeling it, I would say on those events, maybe just have a little bit more of a push. Nothing dramatic.
Okay.
I don't think we're setting M-Sport policy
here. I don't know.
Refer to Rich Milner a little bit on this.
The other issue we've seen in the past is drivers progressing from, say, the juniors. Guy Wilkes is a really good example. And they get a limited program. They get 3 rallies, 4 rallies. Yeah. Remember, he was in the Fiesta, wasn't he? Was it the Fiesta?
No, he's Focus.
Yeah. And what do? They overdrive. They try to prove themselves. They crash, and then they disappear into obscurity. He's not in that position, as far as we understand.
No, he's
got a full year, so he can take his time. And what I want to see from these young drivers in these situations is intelligence, is discipline. I don't necessarily have to see speed.
You do. You have to see a flash. You have to see the ability. No, you have to see the odd flash, the odd spike of speed. You need
What's
to
the
know.
odd spike? Is it
It's
a stage time? Is
yeah,
it a split?
Potentially,
Is it
but it's a managed spike. You sit down and you talk to the team, and the team say,
rather than a
right,
pokey spike? Managed spike.
That was managed.
Yeah,
He stopped
yeah.
and restrained himself.
You're going to go, you know this stage well, you've had a good recce, we've done a bit of testing in the area, we know what this one's all about, give it a go, see what you can do.
Okay,
And then
no, I'll go with you on that.
a top 3 stage time there, good. You've done exactly what we asked, and that demonstrates.
Go and consolidate that now.
But it's that age-old thing, isn't it, that you can speed a driver up. No, you can't teach a driver to be fast. You can't.
No, you can't.
You've got to have it in you.
Absolutely.
There's so much, and that's not to say you'd look in British drivers. We always refer to these, Colin McRae and Richard Burns, the very different approaches that they took. Colin was flat out, absolutely, in the same sort of style as someone like Chris Meek. You go over the limit, you come back and you find the limit. Whereas Richard Burns, progressive, just built. But from the very start of his time in the Peugeot Challenge back in the early 90s, Burnsy was quicker than anybody.
He
And
could
just
put it
ran
in, couldn't he?
around.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
We have a good person to ask this very question to, actually. Mr. Jari-Matti Latvala is about to join us on the set.
Thanks.
Hi, you as always.
dear.
Hi, Jari-Matti.
Jari-Matti, great to see you. We were just talking there, actually, before you came in about, I guess, the need to show speed if you're a young driver. Say, for example, you're Josh McErlean at M-Sport. I'm sorry to ask you about an M-Sport driver, first of all, but he has a full season ahead of him. We know it's going to be a difficult year for someone with not so much experience, but what would you be asking him to do if you were in, say, team manager position there? And as a driver, what would you be doing in terms of targets in that situation? You know you have a full program. How much can you be sensible? How much do you feel you need to prove yourself and go quickly?
Yeah, actually, that Joshua's situation reminds me back in 2007 when I was training for Stobart Sport team and the second team. I had a full season, and that was the year when I had to, prove my abilities, and then by that I managed to get the factory try for 2008 for M Sport. So I think the first half of the season is important to get the confidence, with the car, and to be able to, know the limits. But you shouldn't push yet if you are not comfortable that much. But the second half of the season is more important. And then you should start to get to the speed that, if you can get to I achieved my first podium. And then I think we did, in Rally GP, we did 10 fastest stage times. And then that improved Malcolm to get me in a team. But what I mean is, the most important thing is, that there is many rallies to come.
Yeah.
You are not on the edge to try 1 or 2 events when you have to show your everything.
Well, sorry to cut across, but related to your own driver, Sami Pajari, this year. Yeah, he's in a slightly similar situation. He's got his first full programme. We know he's done 3 rallies before, but is this essentially what you're telling him as well? What are your expectations for him, I guess, for the year ahead?
Yeah, quite a similar thing, yeah. The first 6 months, just to get the good feeling with the car, be confident, different kind of surfaces, and then is coming rallies which is more familiar for him. And then we start to, expect that, he can a little bit attack more. And I said, I expect that he can reach his first podium this year.
Good. Yeah, Matty, I meant to ask you this first up. Have you recovered? Have you recovered from Japan? Because it was a stressful time, wasn't it?
Yes, I have recovered, yeah. But the jet lag is the worst situation for me.
Look, I'm thinking Japan in November with that incredible day.
Yeah. It took some time, I can tell you.
I imagine. But when we think back to that day, it's already an iconic day in rally history. To be part of that day, something you will always remember.
Definitely, it's been the closest fight what I have ever seen on my career for the WRC. Going out in the last stage, you are behind in the championship. Coming out from the last stage, you are winning the manufacturer championship title. And we coming to the Japan, we knew that it's going to be extremely difficult. We had still some faith, and we tried to push the drivers as a team to keep the faith on. But of course, everybody knew also at the same time in their head that the chances are maybe 5 to 10% or something like this. But that's why I think that is the nicest point of the sport, our sport, how things can rapidly change.
But look, you've been on the wrong side of that situation before, and we remember back to, sorry to remind you, that super special in Poland. What did you think as you saw Ott Tänak and he's understeering and he's in the ditch and my goodness me, he's stopped? I guess there was a moment of this changes everything, but there must have been a moment of, as a driver, oh my goodness me, you'll feel awful with this.
This was a funny situation because actually I was on my way to the special stage to watch, so I didn't see it live, and I didn't see Ott's accident live. And then I was looking the results of the stage times, and I started to look stage times, and I was like, where's Ott? It's like, maybe he's just not finished the stage. And then I scrolled down and of the result page, and then at the end of the page it said that Ott Tänak has crashed, and it was like unreal situation.
Yeah.
So, at the same time, of course you feel bad for Ott, but on the other hand, it gives you the chances that no, this is our chance. And we were a little bit jumping with Jonne Haltonen because we were in the same stage.
And he's not one that stays calm.
Yeah, no, he was jumping, and I tried to be a bit calm. He was jumping, and then now we have our chance. And I just okay, yes, it's looking good, but it doesn't mean anything yet. And I mean, I know exactly what with Ott. I have done similar mistake myself on my carry. So, sometimes the risk is that, when it's going well, and you get a little bit too overconfident, then, the mistake can happen.
Well, Jari-Matti, we appreciate you joining us. Thank you very much. It's going to be another busy year for you in and out of the car, so I'm sure we'll see plenty of you in 2025. And good luck this weekend.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You do look fabulous.
I
don't know what you've been doing in the off-season, but I want a bit of it.
Yeah, you look good as well.
There we go. So we are coming thick and fast in terms of the guests. Welcoming Ott Tänak, now 2019 World Rally Champion. Ott, brilliant to see you. Another new year. You ready for the challenge?
Ready?
Good, you're always ready. You're born ready. You're going to test me with the questions there as well. I can see
those answers haven't got any longer, have they? Over the off season.
Did you enjoy the off season break? What did you get up to?
Yeah, very much, to be honest. Most of the time spent home actually. Having a bit of rest of traveling and spending time with the family. So yeah, basically just to charge off a bit.
How important is that for you to reset? 'Cause I think a lot of people don't realise how intense a rally season is. Yes, there's 13 rallies, but it's so much work that goes in around those 13 weeks. So I guess in a lot of ways you'd rather a longer off season than you get. But how useful is that time just to relax and prepare yourself for another year?
Yeah, actually it's not so long time. Probably it's just 2 up to 3 weeks. So normally still in December we have a couple of tests to do, and then just the Christmas time, and then basically first week in January it goes again. So. It's kind of championship, where there is actually no off-season. So,
I saw some ultimate preparation on your social media of the ultimate ice bath. Did you get in a frozen lake? What was the thinking behind that, and what was it actually like?
It's not too bad when sauna is close by. So it's something I enjoy sometimes. It's not that, I like to do the way that people are doing, going by the sea, go in the sea and then go back and drive away with the car, But when sauna is nearby, you jump in the hot tub or in a sauna after, and then like this is quite okay.
Was the strategy to jump in, or did you lower yourself in?
No, it was not jumping in, so it's still pretty cold. So
yeah, and just about this event, it is the ultimate challenge, Monte Carlo, isn't it? Just the conditions bring such a range of kind of opportunities and risk. Is it an event that you can enjoy? Do you like this one?
It's always a demanding one. It's never straightforward. Quite often you don't really know what's coming. Tire choices are always the last moment, adapting the car setup and so on. So it's never, let's say, a perfect condition to drive a stage. So quite often you just have to take, what is coming to you and then just take the best out of it. So I think in a way it's quite difficult to enjoy, but still behind the scene, what I enjoy is actually the strategy, just keeping the eyes open and also a bit the mind open, and try to make a good call. But most of the times actually when you're when you're calling it, you are not really confident that if it was the right or no. So you need to find out during the loop.
How much does it help to be coming here with the same car? Because we know in the last few years you've been changing teams, changing cars, and everything else. At least this time you have something from last year to build from.
Yeah, it's definitely positive. It makes many things much more relaxed and straightforward. You know, you already know the buttons on the steering, and you know where you're going to. You have some pace with the setups and so on. So a lot of data there, which is helping you. But yeah, I mean, this year still bit of regulation change and obviously new rubber, so it's still quite a big change for Monte.
Thoughts on those new tyres? You've done a little bit of testing on them. What do you think?
Yeah, the experience so far is very, very limited. I've done 1 day of testing in more or less wet condition, and also yesterday shakedown was in the wet. So to be honest, personally myself, I don't have a lot of knowledge.
What can we expect from the weather this weekend, Ott? Will we see classic Monte conditions out there?
It doesn't look to be too snowy, but still I'm sure we will see some icy conditions, some black ice and so on. I mean in the mountains overnight it can freeze easily, so and I mean actually the snow is quite straightforward. It's a bit easier to spot, but with the black ice, it's always tricky. So.
And we've got David Evans driving us around this weekend. He wanted winter tyres over all season tyres. Would you have making the same choice?
No, he made a choice not to have me driving him.
It's a chicken choice, but probably the best choice.
That's me to a T. I've got a quick question, David. We've seen you are one of the ultimate absolute fighters, world champion in 2019. I kind of thought you were going to go onto that role of champion. You were riding the crest of a wave, moved teams. You haven't had another championship since then. How, the years that you haven't won it, has that fueled the fire? Are you more determined than ever coming into this year? Of course you always want a championship, but what's the feeling like? I always feel like you're owed championships. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. Of course, every year you come in, you are fueled to fight for the championship. Obviously, it's always a bit tricky or demanding, when you swap the team and then everything is new, and especially if there is a regulation change for everyone, then it's not so complicated. But if everyone else have been in the same car with the same team, it's a bit handicap against them. But we've still always been there, but not good enough anymore.
We have a question from the live stream as well. Someone's just asked, how does the car feel in terms of setup going from the hybrid to non-hybrid this year? Is there a lot of different things you have to do, or is it quite a simple change?
Actually, I was expecting a bit bigger change, but more or less it's quite similar. Obviously, the cars are lighter, so you can definitely adapt a bit. But I must say the rubber change is much bigger change than the regulation change.
All right, thank you very much for your time. Good luck this week. We'll see you around.
Thank you.
Good man. So lots of drivers coming in now, David. We have Grégoire Munster.
Yeah, and I'm going to actually slide out.
You're going to slide and bring Colin in?
I am. There we go. It's musical crosses on the floor.
It's not personal, Greg. It's a routine we've got going. He's not trying to avoid you. How are you, mate? You well?
Yeah, I'm really good. I want to start.
Good to see you. And Greg, tell me about that time, maybe at the end of last season, where you were thinking, my goodness me, I want another year in this championship. I know I can improve. When you got that call that said, yep, we're back on for a full season, just tell me about that call and that emotion and what it meant.
Yeah, it was just an unbelievable feeling, because you had a first year, and I think I always compare me a bit with Adrien, who was driving the same car and so on, and the first year is always a tricky one because you want to prove yourself, but then you start making some mistakes, then you show a bit of pace in some stages, but it's difficult to get the result fighting against so many world champions. And so we had a really good learning year, and so you want a second chance to learn from it and try to show what you can do.
In terms of the car this year, Greg, has many changes really, apart from we know hybrids out, but anything you've been able to do to the car for this year to keep pace behind Toyota?
Yeah, so basically what we have is a new gear ratio. We were planning to do it anyway, even with the hybrid, but it suits it even better without hybrid. But that's it generally in terms of evolution. But like we also have the new tires, so you need to adjust the car a lot to to that new tire.
Is that shorter or longer gears, or can you not tell us?
That's a technical question, isn't it? Anyway, go on.
No, so basically it's a bit shorter because we had a very long first gear because the hybrid was making it easier for you to carry on in some second gear when you had the hybrid, and so we based the gear ratio a bit on that one, and so without the hybrid it's really important to have a shorter one below.
Perfect. Greg, well, thank you very much for joining us here on the live stream. Best of luck this week. Look forward to seeing what you can do.
I can't wait. All the best, mate. All the very best.
All good. So that was Greg Munster from M Sport, and just like that, we have our reigning World Rally Champion, Thierry Neuville. Yes, David Evans, because he's the reigning champion.
One goes, the other one comes in.
It's a conveyor belt.
How are you, mate? You well?
Yeah.
First thing I want to ask you, Thierry, does Martin fit in the seat better than I did a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, definitely. It was actually for you. We brought another seat.
Just be grateful it wasn't me.
No.
Take the seat out.
It would have been tight.
All right.
How do we feel now, Thierry? We've talked about it a lot coming into the season. Number one on the car. We're about an hour away now from starting that adventure. You excited?
Yeah, I mean, excited, of course. Looking forward. I mean, it's still a couple of hours, you know. We have a long road section to get there. That's where everything, the tension comes a bit up, and we need to take the important decisions about the tire choice for tonight. But so far, nice to be here. I mean, it's always a beautiful place to kick off a new season. So
Your back garden.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
Whereabouts are you?
It's more in that direction.
And you walk here?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
In Monaco, you can walk everywhere.
Everywhere. But what's that like? I mean, do you sleep in your own bed?
No, definitely not. No.
Really?
No.
It's a mindset thing. You're on a round.
Yeah, I mean, and we are continuously working together with my team and my co-driver as well. So there would be no place at my home.
Right. And I think we've spoken a little bit about this. So just tell us again. Over the Christmas period, was Christmas different as a world champion? Were the presents bigger?
No, actually not.
No?
But just the time spending with the family in France was great. I enjoyed it a lot, and we had a good Christmas time. We went a bit on holidays as well, so I really enjoyed it. Relaxed. I was also able to just switch off the laptop for 10 days and just enjoy it. And I mean, obviously, since the 24th of November, since we have been world champion, we have been celebrating a lot. So there were some great parties and good memories.
A single moment, no, Thierry, where you just, maybe you're out on your bike or something, and you just think, I'm world champion. You know, you've waited so long, you've tried so hard. Is it that kind of thing? You know, I'd constantly be telling myself, I'm world champion, I'm the best of all. Have you?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, like I said, I had a good time, but now it feels also like now I have to focus again on the essential things, and which are obviously from now on again a new fight in the championship, and for the manufacturers as well, I want to give the very best. So it's enjoyable and it was great, but I now try to make the switch, look forward, and try to have a bit more fun this year.
We've got a couple of questions from those watching the stream as well, Thierry. Someone has asked, what is the first thing you did once you got home after winning the championship? And keep it PC.
Very honestly, it wasn't that exciting. We landed and we went right to all the Belgian TV stations.
Okay.
So first day I'm home, I did 4 different TV stations with some live in the GT, so in Journal Télévisé in the evening, and then we went straight to the Christmas party of Hyundai Motorsport. So we have been really busy. Actually, we did then a few days in Danny Sauter's place, driving some rally cars. Yeah. So that was fun. But it has been busy.
Well, you know, someone else has asked, actually, could you feel the pride of the Belgian people? Did you feel like we really were representing your country?
Yeah, I mean, that was, for me, stands out the most, was to see that. I mean, Belgium is a splitted country. We have 3 different languages in one country, and we could see that the whole Belgium was celebrating our victory. But also, it was surprising to see that people were actually more happy than us in a way, you know, because I could see tears in the eyes, and people, just so happy for what happened. So that was, for me, the most emotional part of it.
Another question, and it probably feels like ages ago now, but how did you start rallying? What got you into this?
Always been passionate about rallying. My father brought me to some races, rallies, and also racing because we are living close to Spa. But at some point I started with autocross, so driving cars on a small dirt track, and that was fun. I wasn't too bad. And at some point I just bought a rally car. I tried my luck. It went very well with a second and a third place in the first rallies. And that's where it started.
One more from the comments before I get back to David. I know he's itching to ask you some more questions, but do you still feel the same hunger now to win, Thierry? Now you've got that one off your back.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the targets are still the same, and we want to show that, and try to be the best. That's our target as always, but also for the manufacturer and for the team, for Hyundai in rallying. I want to give my very best to, don't give them the choice to do anything else than rallying.
Yeah, we are coming into a new season, new tyres, new technical regulations. What are your feelings going into the first round?
It's exciting, definitely. We are a bit in an unknown as well. I mean, technically, we are all capable of adapting. On the new tire supplier, there are a lot of unknowns. I mean, with one-day testing in slush conditions, it's difficult to know. I never drove any of the tires in the dry conditions. Whatever, it might not be very dry this weekend, but however, it's hard to define now what are the perfect ranges of the tires, and what tire will be the more competitive in some of the conditions we will face.
What are we expecting in terms of the weather? Other drivers have told us it's probably going to be wet rather than snowy.
I think so. It will be more wet than snowy. There will be a couple of ice places in some of the stages, which probably will not melt down from now on. But will there be some frost on the night in the mornings? We don't know. We're gonna find out. That will be the surprises. I mean, we're gonna get during the weekend, like every year. You know, we have seen much drier rallies than what it is now, and we still got frost and ice. So. Monte Carlo, typically Monte Carlo.
In terms of the car, how much of the ultimate 2025 spec i20 is this? Is there much more coming? Is this a kind of carryover from last year?
That's 2024, no, even not, 2024 rally car.
Yeah, okay.
And there's more to come,
We've got a couple more questions from the comments. Simply, would you like to see a WRC rally in Ireland, Thierry?
Yeah, why not? Ireland, for sure, it would be nice. I mean, especially with the connection we have to Ireland with our remembered teammate. It would be cool. Will be probably a challenging event for us as the drivers, that's for sure. But why not?
And with Genesis entering World Endurance Championship, do you fancy a crack at Le Mans in the future? Is that your future after rallying?
No, I don't think so, to be honest. Like I said, I will give my very best together with my teammates as well to don't leave Hyundai any other choice than sticking to the WRC.
Yeah.
It's all our common interest, and that's what we're going to fight for as well. But I'm sure Cyril is pushing in the same way. And then, why not some tests in circuit racing just for fun? I took André Latvala, the future Genesis driver, yesterday in the co-driver seat. And he said, now I want to drive the car. Give me the chance, and I will organize for you a test in the hypercar.
But we always find this, don't we? You know, racing drivers come in with rally drivers, and they leave thinking, what am I doing? Why am I bothering with racing? It's so much more exciting what you do.
It's a different challenge. I mean, I have done some circuit racing, and it looks all a bit more straightforward, a bit more boring. But on the other hand, if you need to find the last couple of tenths or hundredths of a second, it gets very difficult as well. So it's a different kind of working. I mean, you really look for the smallest details and a few millimeters here and there on the road to go faster. For us, it's more about following the feeling, taking a bit more risks than them, definitely, but also having the capability of adapting to the conditions, and obviously just be a bit more crazy.
Yeah, one more from me. I think just in terms of the Hyundai team this year, it's evolved obviously from last year. That third seat is no longer rotating. We've got Adrien Fourmaux in there full time. What are your thoughts? Is that's the right move, and how do you look to win the Manufacturers' Championship?
I definitely believe that we have a strong drivers lineup with Ott, me, and Adrien. So I'm quite convinced that we can do well for the team, but also for ourselves. Each driver will try to give his very best. So no, I'm looking forward. We don't know what strategy the other teams gonna play or can play. Actually, obviously we have a few more cars in the race, but overall I'm pretty convinced that it will be fun.
I do have one more. Sorry,
no,
one more.
quickly.
Kalle Rovanperä, are you scared that he's back full time? Does he scare you?
No, he doesn't scare me, but he's a strong opponent. So we need to take it very serious, of course. With a 2 times world champion, it won't be easy. But no, I'm looking forward. I know that we need to have an as good season as last year with the same passion, motivation, and efforts we put in the season last year, and then obviously that little bit of luck you need to succeed.
Thierry, thank you very much. Good luck. See you throughout the weekend.
Thank you.
Good man. Cheers. Here we go, our reigning World Rally champion, and actually reigning Monte Carlo Rally winner as well. Won here last year to kick off his title defence. We've got another world champion in something. Was it?
Green is me. I'm green.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
And why is it that I have my own particular mic?
Because you're very noisy.
Noisy boy. I'm the noisy boy with the different settings.
Very noisy.
Audio
That's
levels.
so cool, though, isn't it? Thierry just really quite relaxed, just looking forward to the season ahead, and just.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cole.
No, go on. When I do that, David, you've not quite got. I'm encouraging your
okay.
opinion. I'm agreeing with you and encouraging. I don't want to
But
interrupt.
also, it's fascinating that he lives just over there, but still, just absolutely.
Yeah.
Still sticks to that regime of sleeping in a hotel and doing everything with the team.
And we find that in Uvascular, don't we? The
Yeah.
guys, even though they might have apartments 2 or 3 k's away, they'll come and stay at the team hotel.
Now, not that I'm not enjoying this conversation, we do have another driver. They're coming thick and fast here. Mr. Sami Pajari is with us. David's going to swap out, bring Sami in.
Sorry for the cold.
Hello, Sami Pajari.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you, my friend?
You look. I have to say, you look fabulous in the official team gear, Sami Pajari.
Thank you. You too.
Can I ask the first
go
question?
for it,
Again, a similar question to the question that we asked of Grégoire Munster. I was at the press conference in Japan on the Monday after the rally, and it was a big surprise to me that you'd got the full season. I thought, yes, that's exciting. That's really exciting. At what point last year did you know, things go well here, I've got a full season in a Rally 1 car? When did you know that was going to be the way?
Actually, not so much sooner than you.
Wow.
So it was quite late in the season anyway. Like, of course, like after the mid-season, we did few rallies with the Rally 1 last year already, and there was some positive things, and there was, of course, some discussion. So I was expecting to have some seat time in the Rally 1, but the full season was still, of course, I was hoping for it, but it was still a little bit of a surprise as well for me.
You've got your feet firmly on the ground, Sami, aren't you? You're not a driver that dreams too much, but this is a huge opportunity. It's what you've worked your entire career for, is it? To be here at the start of the season in a full program, in a works team with the proper car.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, of course, it's something that I've been dreaming about for many years. So it's already something really nice that you like get to this point that you are like driving full time for a factory, and it's like, of course, I'm super happy about it. But at the same time, I know it, like all the results, they were not coming easily until this point, and it won't be any easier after this. So it will be hard work and really needs some proper work to do.
So we'll take you back a few years. Rally Corsica. You're visiting Rally Corsica. It may have been for the first time, and you're driving around the hills of Corsica with me, which I can't remember. As I'm getting old. But how old were you then? You were 15 or 16, I think?
I think
maybe younger.
17 actually,
maybe 17.
I think I was able to drive in there.
And it was actually quite exciting that you were with Colin from Rally Radio. But look at this now. Look at this now. Not so many years later, and you're the biggest, brightest star potentially in the World Rally Championship. Luke talked about dreaming. Those dreams, to have dreams like that and to see them coming true. Tell us about that. Tell us about that kind of, that whole thing, that whole process.
Yeah, it's like a really, really nice story to tell at least. But like for me, if this Corsica was like maybe 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So I was still already like a few years driving rally before that, and that was the year I did my first WRC event in later the year in Finland. So after that, like all the steps were coming like, let's say, quite naturally.
Yeah.
Like there was not like one big step at once, but it was like coming step by step, like climbing all the ladders in the WRC. So there was not like a big turning point at any point. So kind of like the more further I got, I saw the next step maybe coming. So actually it didn't feel so strange when it finally happened. But if I like look back in time for many years, then it seems to be quite impressive.
Well, it's all about to begin for you very soon. We'll let you head off there and get ready for the rally, but good luck this weekend, Sami. We'll look forward to seeing how you get on.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We are so excited. My new favourite driver.
Oh, you're saying it? You're calling it now?
I've said it, yeah, my new favourite driver.
We do have David before you come in. We're going to have to do a switcheroo, Colin. If you can switch your microphone with Elfyn Evans. They're coming in thick and fast.
Are you?
Thanks, you.
Yeah, good. Sorry, have you got a question?
No, I was just going to say, Elfyn, you've had some...
family
Yeah, it's been an exciting off-season for you, hasn't it? You fill everyone in on, I guess, is exciting the right word? I don't
busy.
know. Yeah, busy. I think. Yeah.
Just a bit. But Monte, we're here again, top of another season. Is this one that you enjoy?
It's that type of rally that you enjoy for what it is. Obviously, it's the same way as you enjoy Safari. Maybe there's not masses of pleasure in driving on ice on the wrong tyre, but it's part of the challenge and what makes the rally so iconic. So, maybe it's not the same thrill of driving as maybe you say get it somewhere like Finland, but it's still a challenge that you have to try and enjoy.
Do you like that sort of strategic aspect, the big gamble with the tyre, and because I'm sure you've been on the good side and the bad side of getting it right and wrong. Is that something that's good?
I mean, it's part of what makes the rally exciting. Of course, it always feels good if you're on the right side of it, and not so if you're on the wrong side of it. But I think probably there's a bit more of that likely to happen this year than maybe what we've seen in the last few years.
Can you enjoy this rally, Elfyn? Is it one as a driver you can actually genuinely get your teeth into and enjoy, or is it mainly just trying to avoid all the problems?
Yeah, like I said, you sort of enjoy the challenge of it rather than the pure driving maybe. Although having said that, there's some brilliant stages if you take away the condition element of it. But most of them are looking like there's mixed conditions in most of them this year.
Is it better to do full snow? These are brilliant roads, but would a summer Monte be incredible that you can really attack on dry tarmac? Or is the big snow and almost the Swedish conditions, is that fun?
No, I like the stages. I always say like to have a summer rally here would be an amazing tarmac rally, but that's not what we're here for this weekend.
No, very much not what we're here for. I guess, the car, the tyres, everything's evolved so much. There's a lot. We had a big debate here. You look, some of your best performances, second in a championship, could quite comfortably have been world champion in 21 in Monza. 20. That was a different car. Now there's a natural assumption out there that take hybrid out and it goes back to that car. It's not like that, is it? This is still last year's chassis. What can we expect from Elfyn Evans?
Yeah, I think everybody has this perception the car has gone back to a 17 car now, but it's actually quite polar opposite. Of course, the hybrid is out, and we all know that the car is lighter, but ultimately it's the same diff, same geometry, same suspension that we had. So the car somehow feels very familiar still. Of course, there are changes. You take 80 kilos out of a car, of course it's going to make a difference. But
it's still taking me out of a car. No, it's not. It's a bit more.
But it's still very familiar to what we had last year at the moment. So.
Elfyn, we appreciate your time here. Thank you very much. Good luck for the weekend ahead. He's got to go.
We've
got a rotating door.
Yeah, we have.
We do.
Very much. Give it. Sorry.
Thank you. In he comes.
I'm on my way out.
Just like that.
I'm loving this. Can I swap mics with you, Adrien? Sorry.
Yeah, he's loud. He needs the special green.
Not do that again.
Adrien Fourmaux, you look relaxed. Is that how you feel inside?
Yes, and he looks good in the colours.
He does look good.
Suits me well.
Yeah, I think it suits you well, mate. I think it does. How are you feeling ahead of the new season? It's a very different situation from this time last year.
Well, I'm feeling really good. I'm really pleased to be here in Monte Carlo, starting a really iconic rally. So it's always something special, especially when you have a long road section until the first stage when you can think about everything, you know. So I'm happy.
You're a very thoughtful driver, a very thoughtful man. You must have thought long and hard about this move to Hyundai, because you were offered, some people would say, the world by Ford. You were going to be the #1 driver there. I know there were things that you weren't offered, but you must have thought long and hard about it, and this is clearly the right decision for you, the right decision for your future.
Do you reckon now?
I think so. I know I was harsh with you. We had conversations, didn't we? We had conversations, many conversations. But what we all know is you're an intelligent driver. You're an intelligent man, and you must have weighed it all up. Was it a difficult decision?
Be careful. I try to keep my head on my shoulders first. So, you know, I don't think there is good or bad move, no. As long as the future is nice, you know. So. Actually, it was difficult to leave M-Sport. I did 5 years with the official team, 7 years driving a Ford. It was only my only
7 years?
7 years, yeah, from the beginning of my career.
Wow.
Only 4.
Wow.
So then it's a new start, a new chapter. But at the end, it was a really good relationship with Malcolm, and I still have him a lot in contact. So it's okay, you know. We made the agreement together, I would say.
But you mentioned how many events you've done in a Ford. You've done one in a Hyundai, and you won it.
Yes.
So it's been a good start so far.
Yeah, we won the last one with Ford, and we won the first one with Hyundai. Perfect.
Yeah, it's a good run. Genuinely though, how confident are you in this car? Because we know how challenging the Monte is. The last thing you really ideally want to be doing is learning a new car when you're out there in those stages, isn't it?
Well, for sure, it's a big challenge to discover a new car on a rally like Monte Carlo. Also, we had the new tires, so it's a lot of unknown for me. New team, new car, new tires, so it's a lot of things. So for sure, it's not an advantage, definitely. So I will just try to go step by step, see where we are. I feel comfortable, but I will still discover things on the car. I will still discover things on the tires and the team. So yeah, it will take a little bit of time.
And what did you get Alex for his birthday yesterday?
Oh yeah.
Nothing. Sorry, Alex.
Did you sing happy birthday to him?
Yeah, I was there when he had the cake on his face.
And I've got a very quick question from the comments. So, and I actually wanted to ask this myself, so I'm glad it's been asked. Any movie quotes for this rally, Adrien? Can we expect much from it at stage ends?
I don't know yet.
You don't know? Is it a spur of the moment thing?
But yeah, there is maybe something. We'll see.
So if you had one movie that you had to get a quote from, considering where we are, which movie would it be? Considering where we are. Considering where we are.
James Bond, 007.
Casino Royale. There you go, that's your homework for tonight, as if you don't have enough to do.
After the rally, I will not leave the rally with the Aston Martin. So.
Sadly not. A Hyundai, of course. Adrien, thank you very much for your time. We wish you good luck this weekend, and we'll see you around. All the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers. I'll hold this for David Evans.
Did you get that wrong, or did I get that wrong?
I think he just came in really quickly.
No, but it was a nice change, wasn't it? It's nice to mix it up.
And you know, we've got this many drivers coming in, things are going to go a little bit, but it's been great, isn't it? It's been good fun, thick and fast.
Has been.
Yeah, I think that's
got frantic.
It's gone mad, but yeah, it is. It's great, and just great to see you can see some nerves in some and some more relaxed. And gotta say, Thierry Neuville, super relaxed.
Super relaxed, and Ott Tänak, super relaxed.
Yeah.
And I was talking to someone on Ott's team who said, he said, I can often judge what year he's going to have by his mood here in Monte Carlo. And he said, the last time I saw him like this was when?
2019.
2019.
I was going to ask him if we'd had him for a little bit longer. Do you remember 17, when it was the first time in the big wing cars, the 17 cars? M-Sport, he had an engine problem. Now, obviously, Ogier was leading, and Ott was third. I think it was dropping onto 3 cylinders or something.
Yes.
In the last stage, and he came through
the last stage
over the finish line with the biggest drift.
But the whole thing, it started snowing.
Yeah,
and he
exactly.
And he absolutely he was behind. He came across the top of the col. And again, we talked about this earlier, how they have different configurations. It was 6 Ks down to the stop
in the snow,
and he absolutely went for it. And we were at the end of that stage because it was a 1-3. It was a double podium, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we were there with the head man, the highest man from Ford, and he's watching the monitor, and we're looking at the times. He's come across the top of the call. It's like he's losing this year. And then it's like, How
But
did he do
the way he
it?
came across the line, it was a proper one.
It was
I think
that was
it
just...
almost might be competition time.
You've read my mind, David
have.
Evans. Look at that. That's perfect. I was going to say, don't worry, we haven't forgotten about these challenges you have to win some exclusive money.
What have we got? I'm getting ready. What have we got?
Bear with me. I'll get this. I hope you've been enjoying all of our driver stuff, but this is the moment we've all been building up for. It is the Cali Rovanpera Nomex undershirt, as worn when he won Rally Chile. So
By
Colin's been
Colin
picking,
Clark.
by Colin Clark, yeah. Colin's picking up a lot. But yeah, this is, if I'm honest, if I was entering, this is the one I would try and go for. I have no idea what he's doing in front of the camera.
Turn it around.
That's quite
That's the cool bit.
There it is.
He thinks that's the cool bit, so we'll show you
It
that.
is.
Look at that.
That's
the
his
really
name.
cool bit is that signature. The Rovanpera signature is the really cool bit. Wow. That's what makes it exclusive, David.
Yeah. While I ask the question, let's hold it up like that.
Yeah,
Right, on you go.
as before, it's very, very simple for your chance to win. We're going to put up a question on screen very soon, and all you're going to have to do is answer that question, which is coming up below
like an
on
80s
screen
game
right
show.
now. That question being, who is
wouldn't fit in
Takamoto
there.
Katsuta's co-driver? The time has already started, 4 minutes 55 and counting. Who is Takamoto Katsuta's co-driver? Leave the answer in the comments below and your social media username so we know how to contact you. And actually, if you can, let us know what platform that is on as well, because in the examples of Colin, he's got a different username on Instagram and X, so it can vary. But yeah, who is Takamoto Katsuta's co-driver?
I've got a question for you.
Oh no.
So you're hosting this,
Yeah.
and quite often a host has a glamorous assistant.
Yeah.
So which one of the two of us would you choose as your glamorous assistant?
This is a tough question.
It's not.
No, but I don't want to do too much to you. Colin, yeah. He's got the accent.
How could he look past
He's got
that?
the
Anyway,
passion.
there we are.
I've just thought, though, we haven't actually spoken to Calais, have we? Really? We'll try and grab him before the end. They've all had to disappear down there. They are now getting into the groove a little bit, aren't they? Getting into the zone. There is
Less than half an hour.
Yeah. But like Thierry said, we kind of we get really excited. Ooh, it's the start of the Monte Carlo Rally. Yes, it is. Thierry Neuville will go over that through the first control of the event at 14:30, at 2:30. Absolutely on the nose. Don't forget, if he gets a minute wrong,
Penalties.
that's a penalty immediately.
So that's the first time control.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're in through control, and then they're
Yeah.
out, and they're into the event. But like Thierry said, doesn't really start till 3 or 4 hours later. We've got a long road section all the way up there. What would we do just to drive that road section in those cars?
I know I would do anything to it. Just speaking of moving around and stuff, I took a step back and I just realised I've been standing here for about 2.5 hours. My knees are a bit lock solid.
Yeah.
But there we go. Part of the fun, isn't it? I hope you have been enjoying. Drop us some questions as well if you have been. But remember, the hot topic right now in the comments section, who is Takamoto Katsuta's co-driver? Drop your answer in the comments along with your social media handle. That is for your chance to win the Cali Rovanpera Nomex undershirt as modelled by Colin Clark glamorously and as worn, more importantly, by the two-time world rally champion. You cannot buy this. It's a
When he
money
won in
cannot buy
Chile.
prize when he won in
Won
Chile.
in Chile last
It's an
year.
exclusive prize thanks to Toyota Gazoo Racing. So our eternal appreciation to them for helping us along with that
Let's
competition.
also say, that's brilliant. Let's also say a huge thanks to Hans de Waal,
Yeah.
the just absolute PR guru in the World Rally Championship. He's amazing. He's
the benchmark.
He
He's
is
the absolute benchmark. In
He
many
is.
ways, he is the benchmark.
He's helped us out no end with the prizes, with everything here, the logistics. So big thanks, Hans. We couldn't have done it without you.
Yeah. And just like that, after I've been talking about questions, we have one. So thank you very much. And this is actually for all of us. I feel a bit honoured. I'm now included in the. Does that make me
No.
famous? No. Okay.
Makes you part of the team, which you always have been.
Oh, thank you,
Always.
Colin. Okay. Oh, no,
Put
maybe.
your arm around. Give him a wee hug.
The question is quite simple, and we'll go round. So we'll start with Colin. What is the one classic rally car that you want to have a go in? Now, it hasn't specified
Now-
driving or sitting in it, has
Now,
it?
if you'd asked me this last year, I'd have said, without any doubt, the Audi Quattro, the S1. What did I drive last year?
The Mercedes.
Badly, but I got to drive one, and it was one of the scariest experiences of my life. But you know what I have never been in? And I have never been a passenger or driven a Mark II Escort.
Okay.
Never been in. Would you believe that? I've never been in a Mark II Escort. I would love just to feel. You watch them, and Mark II Escorts are what reinvigorated interest in classic rallying, and just that tail just going backwards and forwards with someone that knows what they're doing. So not you, David. I'm sorry. I would love to be a passenger in a really well-driven Escort.
I'm the same actually. I've never driven. I've been a passenger in a few Mark IIs, but I've never driven one. I'd love to drive one. just to yeah.
Could be an interesting video. You driving, me shaking, me.
But we do, if you want to really taste real and feel rear-wheel drive, go to DirtFish. We have Subaru BRZs for the rear-wheel drive experience. It is sensational. For me, I would have to say, the list is just enormous.
That's wonderfully enormous.
Lancia Stratos would be the immediate kind of go-to, just to hear that noise. But also, I would love to have had a shot in a hybrid car, one of these, just to feel, to understand the boost, the launch off the line, and then to try and figure out the regen and how to work that strategy. You know, they're not iconic cars, they're not incredible cars, but
that doesn't answer the question. The question, David, listen to the question. The question was classic. Are you now saying, and maybe you're right,
classic.
Maybe that hybrid now is
no, that's my point. I don't think it's a classic. It was just intrigue.
Okay.
You know, I would love to have known how they drove and what they had to go through to get the best out of those.
Just going to cut across you because there's just coming up 10 seconds left to enter the final competition. Here it is. Take it.
Still get in. I can't get into it, but you can still get
Take it off Colin Clark's hands now. Put the answer in the comments. You've got a few seconds. Get it done. Leave the answer and your social media handle, and that's it. It's gone. I feel sad now.
Someone's won it. It's all over. No more prizes left. I've got an answer for your question. All of that blah, blah, blah about hybrids and Lancia Stratos. Subaru Impreza 555.
I can see that.
Proper Group A car. McRae's car out of 95. Just that noise and just sitting in it. It's special.
Yeah, for me, I'd struggle to look past the Subaru, but you mentioned Donna Kelly's museum earlier in this live stream. For me, there's so many cars there, and I won't give away too much because he likes to keep it secret. If anyone does get the chance to go, it's amazing when you walk in, and actually it's like an embarrassment of riches. There's so many great cars that you find yourself ignoring others that any other day you'd stare at. But there was one in that entire room that caught my eye, and it was the VW Golf kit car.
Kit car. I knew you were going to say kit car.
So interesting, it's got a slight link to here. Kyle Lindstrom was the co-driver in that car in period with Tapio Laukkanen. British Championship 2000. That's the first rally car I can ever remember seeing with my own eyes.
And you know, one of the first rally drivers that I heard regularly mentioned, and I loved the name, was Tapio Laukkanen.
Yeah.
Used to get report, and back in the day where Radio 5 Live would report in the UK, it's very parochial, I'm sorry about that, in the BBC in the UK, they would report on British Rally Championship. And Laukkanen was a name I was familiar with. I was obviously familiar with names from the 80s and 90s, but it was very odd, and it was a name that just stuck with me as being, I like that name. And then when I met him for the first time, I went, he's a real person.
And a very cool
guy.
real
and a lovely
person.
guy.
He was one of the best. I was fortunate to work through that era, and Tapsa, as he was known, was just and still is
Tapsa.
That is still a great character and an incredible driver. Just absolutely amazing driver. And I think we're fortunate in that we're very fortunate that the owner of DirtFish, Steve Rimmer, has just an outstanding collection of cars. Some of them are out in Seattle, in Washington, some of them are in the UK. So we do occasionally have the opportunity to go Ian Gwynn's place where they're kept in the UK at BGM Sport. And, you know, we don't drive them, but just the opportunity to actually open the door and just sit in there and you smell the history. It's just, it is. It's fantastic, isn't it? The Delta S4s, the 205s from Kankkunen and people like this.
205.
Now, I've got some interesting news.
Okay.
A curveball, actually, in the stream. Just had some news from Elliot's now, my year, not Brenton, because Brenton Kelly is coming on screen. And he's replacing you, apparently. He's in.
Gone.
He's in.
You're gone.
He's in.
It was not my choice.
Yeah, you can share the mic. Share the mic. Brenton Kelly of DirtFish Rally School works in the media team
as always. You're a
as
very
well.
handsome man.
Yeah, he's been running the show. And now he's here.
Stand on the X here. Is that how you do this?
And look after my mic.
It'll be quick. It'll be short. They told me I'm coming in. I didn't plan this. You know, I've been here directing this stream with Elliot and Alistair and watching you guys all day. It's been amazing. It's awesome to see this.
Yeah.
Stream's gone flawlessly so far, and hopefully,
Oh, is that
don't say that
to me as well?
Yeah. But I hear we might have some questions from YouTube. Hopefully, not for Colin, because I just kind of took his place.
If Colin can answer them, you can answer them.
Well, I'll check if I have, which
Is
I
this
do.
question
Yeah. Sorry. So
just specifically for Brenton?
I'm going to find out.
I don't know. We'll see.
Right. Okay. Sorry. I'm just scrolling through on my phone. So for the crew, what rally do you look forward to each year? So we'll start with you, Brenton. It's a predictable one for you, actually. I've already guessed it in my head. It might begin with an S.
Any rally at all?
Any rally.
Well, then obviously, yeah, you're right. Snowdrift.
Yeah.
Obviously, coming up in a couple of weeks, it's one of my favorite rallies. I've won the regional there multiple years.
Have you?
I've got a
You should have
podium.
mentioned
Yeah,
it.
yeah. You can find that out on EWRC, partnered with DirtFish.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I'd say Snowdrift is probably my favorite. Last year it wasn't as snowy, but it was negative 20 degrees Celsius in Atlanta yesterday, so it's going to be a very snowy year for it. David, what about you?
Well, I want to hear more about the Snowdrift. And was it Snowdrift or was it LSPL where you got your podium, your overall podium?
Snowdrift.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's incredible. And
It's a cool rally, though.
It's a very cool rally. And what we need to say about Snowdrift is it's usually, like you said, a full snow rally, but you don't get studs. No studs.
Exactly.
And it's not an easy task, that is it, to drive a car. You drive a Subaru Impreza, an open class car, which is pretty rapid.
Yeah, it's a tricky rally without the studs, like you said. And with the weather, like I said, it's negative 20. Tomorrow it could be, I don't know what this is in Celsius, 40, 50 degrees Fahrenheit, whatever that means. But that's over freezing, and the roads could melt, become perfect water, and the next day it refreezes. And that happens there. It's one of the trickiest rallies where everyone plans for weeks in advance, much like this rally, and then the day before, the conditions completely change. And we saw that last year.
Yeah, well, we totally did. For me, obviously, I'm always looking forward to Snowdrift, and this is one of the joys for me. You know, I've covered the World Rally Championship for a few years, but in the last few years, going out to ARA rounds, going to DirtFish's home round, Olympus in Washington, Oregon, all of these events, 100 Acre Wood, it's amazing. And you know, you see a completely different side to the sport, and I absolutely love just the kind of cosmopolitan aspect of what you've no idea what's coming around the corner next.
Yeah.
It's great, and the community's massive, and DirtFish is at the heart of that community. I'm not really answering questions very
But I'm
quickly.
going to interrupt because very quickly I want to ask about it, Brenton. Bonfire Alley. We've not talked about it yet.
Well, I had the
Explain
pleasure of
what it
taking
is.
Colin. He's pointing at me. He loved Bonfire Alley.
Yeah.
What did you think of Bonfire Alley?
Hot.
Okay. Yeah, I talked about it a lot.
Smoky and
Yeah.
fiery, and it was the atmosphere down there is, you see it all the time, and you think, yeah, it's probably going to be good, but not all that. We talk here about Turini, going back all of the years with Col de Turini up on the top of the mountain with the fires going, the fireworks. It's exactly that, but it's just ramped up. It's incredible.
Yeah. So typically at Snowdrift, Bonfire Alley is the last stage of the rally, has the most houses on it, and all the families and people get together and they build up these massive bonfires. What did we see on Recce when we were cruising Bonfire Alley?
We saw a lot on Recce.
But we saw people backing up the trucks, unloading pallets, fires taller than us, right?
And what happens as the car goes through? What do they do to the fire?
Well, you guys call it petrol,
Yes.
right? Gasoline for our American friends. As soon as the cars come by, everyone's throwing cups of gas, buckets of gas on the fire. And I've driven the stage a bunch of times. You can feel the heat from the fires. I talk about that all the time. You feel it on your face as you're cruising by. It's lighting up. It's very distracting. An awesome stage. And DirtFish will be doing coverage of all the ARA series this year. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be there.
Yeah.
David, sorry, quick answer to the question as well.
Yeah,
Finland.
to the question.
Finland. You did Finland last year. You can see why you'd look forward to Finland.
I did Finland in a sense of media, but I would love to do it someday in a car.
Yeah.
Finland is awesome. It was amazing. It was great to spend so much time on Olympia.
With me.
Exactly.
So yours.
For me, I'll take the cop-out answer and the topical one, Monte Carlo. I love the anticipation when the scores are reset to zero. You've got drivers learning new cars. Obviously, I'm caught up in it now because I'm right here, but yeah, it is very special. Another question, and actually I don't know if in selection the person's aware of this, but it is from my girlfriend, so hello Darcy. Who from F1 would you like to see in a Rally 1 car? So any F1 driver in a Rally 1 car, who would you like to see? Brenton.
Max Verstappen. Just going in there.
We've been talking a lot about James Hunt, obviously. You know, I met Romain Grosjean last year, I guess, at Velocity. He was a great guy. We put him in one of the Group E cars. It'd be great to see him in a rally car.
Yeah.
Rally 1 car. Yeah.
But, you know, we see Max Verstappen's dad, Jos, is doing great things in rallying in Belgium. It'd be great, and I think there has been some super secret, whatever, we do know where it was, testing with Max Verstappen driving a rally car. Sadly, it was all behind closed doors and we couldn't get any access to anything. But he's had a go, and you do find any time a Formula One driver gets into a rally car, there's this amazing piece that Kalle Rovanperä did with Mika Häkkinen and David Coulthard. And, you know, I've done a couple of jobs with DC, and he has so much respect for rally drivers. Him and Colin McRae were great friends. Just a huge appreciation for what was going on. Yeah, it's incredible.
We have a guest
We've
here.
got a surprise guest.
This is a surprise guest. It gives me the opportunity to step out and continue to direct here. I'm freezing, guys. It got cold. I'm going to hand the mic over. Thank you guys for letting me see an appearance here. Here you go.
Thanks, Brenton.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year, boys.
Happy New Year.
I'll do a sweaty hand, so you don't want to touch that.
You don't want to touch them. What have you been doing?
No, don't ask that question, Andreas. Looking very suave, as always.
Yeah, but I wish I was in a driving suit, but it's not the case.
What are the chances this year?
Well, I'm still working on a program. For sure, Rally 1 will be difficult. There's not so many seats available, so Rally 2 maybe, but when I start or exactly my program, I don't know. I'm working on it.
That's interesting. So would you do WRC2? Would that be the ideal if Rally 2, or would you look elsewhere?
No, I would for sure prefer to do Rally 2, stay in the game. One thing that you really is in perspective is 2027, you know, hopefully new manufacturers, more seats available. Right now it's really tough. So yeah, I still want to keep active and aim for 27 basically.
And it must be incredibly tough. You know, you live around here. Every year you're used to the build up to Monte Carlo Rally. You walk around. In fairness, you didn't do it last year.
No, we did.
I did.
Sorry, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
But there are years when you haven't done it. Maybe.
Monte Carlo.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's been years.
What's it like to be in the town and kind of to be part of it, but not part of it?
That's why I booked a flight this evening to go get away. I'm going to Norway later today. So no, but for sure it's nice. Like Rally Monte Carlo is a rally that you like and you dislike at the same time. You know, it's tricky conditions and the risk is quite high. Like the conditions I understood from the guys now, maybe some black ice tonight, and like part of me is quite glad I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
But for sure, it's a beautiful rally.
But it's not an easy one, is it, by far?
No, it's the most, for me it's the most tricky one. It depends on the conditions, of course. It can also not be so complicated if everything is but you know, if the conditions change after the gravel cruise, and this is the scary or the tricky part. Yeah, it's definitely the most tricky one, but it's also the first one of the season, so therefore everyone is a bit nervous, and it's not an easy stage to jump into, a night stage as well.
And we saw at the end of last year a very, very excited Andreas Mikkelsen when Thierry Neuville won the World Championship in Japan.
Yeah.
Did you do a bit of partying with him after that?
I couldn't. I had to get back to Europe straight away. So we're still missing.
You still haven't celebrated?
Well, we celebrated him here in the port in Monaco 1 month later, in December, but not properly. So we still have that one to go.
Excellent.
That sounds ominous, doesn't it? A proper party is coming.
Yeah, we have to, for sure.
But now we're into 2025. If you look back at last year, is there anything you could have done more? Because I think it's probably hard for people that don't do this to understand just the difficult situation you were in how little you were actually in the car. To get in there and be on the pace and everyone when you're not driving week in, week out is tough.
Yeah, it is tough. You know, I didn't get the rallies that I really wanted to do. Doing the tarmac rounds, you know, we can deliver good on tarmac, but it doesn't come as natural to me as gravel. Pretty much in gravel I can jump straight into the car and deliver good result. You saw it in Poland with only one test day. We were leading, but tarmac is a bit more unnatural, but we can go fast. We saw it in Japan for the last day there. We were really quick. But if I could do something different, I could probably push more from the beginning of the season. Because I really wanted to use Monte Carlo and Croatia just to learn the car, get to the finish, get the miles, the kilometers. Because if I didn't finish this Monte Carlo rally, there's 3 months with no driving, and then I come to Croatia, I had to learn the car from the beginning there. Yeah. So, and then, you know, I only had 2 more events in Central Europe and Japan, where we tried to focus on pushing, you know, and drive fast. So, maybe I could try to explore and push a bit more from the beginning. But also the team also asked me to, you know, take my time and build step by step. But looking back, maybe push a little bit more in the early phase of the season.
Yeah. Hankook is new for this year. You've got a bit of experience working with those guys from back in the day. They helped you with a couple IRC rallies, didn't they, in 2010?
Yeah, I drove for Hankook in 2010.
Yeah.
Together with the Ford Fiesta. I also did some rallies in the Opel Corsa at that time because they were doing...
I forgot about that car.
Yeah, exactly. I tried to forget about that car. but full season in 2010. Was very good guys to work with. The tires at that time was very strong.
Yeah.
You know, almost impossible to get the puncture. So let's see. At that time, they were not as performant as the Pirelli Michelin, but they could take all damage and all hits. So as long as everyone is on the same tire, and we have a tire at least which is, doesn't create a lot of punctures, and even though it's a bit down on speed, it doesn't matter.
No.
Yeah.
We need something predictable.
We do. We've got quite a lot of people that are excited now to see you on the stream, Andreas. We've got a few questions. One of them they've asked you is, do you think WRC could be coming to America in the future? And to add on to that, do you want to see WRC come to America? How good would that be if it did happen?
Oh, absolutely. I really hope they come to America. It's called the World Championship, so we have to be around the world, So we haven't had that rally. Did it ever be a part of the WRC?
Yeah, it was in Washington until '88.
Okay.
3 years, I think it was, 3 years,
Obviously, DirtFish is very keen to see it in America as well.
And I think it will be good for Ford as well to have around there. So, I would like to see that happen.
Yeah, second one, it's slightly controversial. Someone has asked, what is your honest opinion on Hyundai's decision to put you on tarmac last year?
To put me on tarmac?
Yeah.
Well, in my case, that's what I was offered. And
did you try and argue with them a little bit?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But no one wanted to do tarmac.
Not even Danny.
No, not even Danny. And it's not an easy car to drive on tarmac, the Hyundai. Yeah, but of course in my position you have to take whatever they come.
Yeah.
Even though it's not my preferred surface, everything, it's time in a Rally 1 car.
Yeah.
You fight with the top boys. But I just hope, or I would like to have a little bit more time in the car when looking back at last year, because you did one test day before Monte Carlo, that's it. Then 3 months gap until Croatia. Very little in the car at their test track, but you don't really learn the car there at all. So I would definitely do it again, but let's try to add, let's say, small rallies. More time in the car would be preferable.
If I can just ask as well, because I remember you had that spell the first time around with Hyundai where tarmac wasn't your favourite surface in that car either, and we'd seen you early in that year in a Citroen be, I think, second in Germany, so we can see you had the speed, but it just wasn't coming in that car. Was it a familiar struggle this time round? It's a different car, obviously, but was it similar sort of issues that you were struggling with on tarmac?
No, it was. I didn't know, not at all. It was easier to drive this car compared to the previous model, because then I really struggled. Like you said, we came on a high from second in Rally Germany. A couple of months later to Spain, we were leading after the gravel, and then we come to the tarmac day, and I was dead last by far, seconds off per kilometer. So I didn't forget how to drive. It's just you drive it in a very different way, which I didn't know how to do it. But last year, the car was very nice. Of course, a little bit tail happy and a little bit understeer going in, but much better than the previous model.
Andreas, thanks very much for stopping by. Enjoy the flight to Norway.
I will. Okay, have a good weekend, guys.
Thank you, Andreas.
Thank
All the
you
best.
very much.
Oh my word! I was just kicking something behind me there.
He was looking pretty sharp there, wasn't he?
Very sharp. Colin Clark
I have to
talks
say,
about
I
it a
do feel very badly. I think that Colin should have been the man interviewing.
Why?
Just because you were the very one years ago that actually labelled him the handsome
one. And remember, Volkswagen completely embraced that. Because remember his first win in Spain on the media day, the handsome one, WON. It was
great.
Such a great guy and such a talented driver. And has he got a way back, David? Can you see him?
I think there's a way back into WRC too, because there will be, there's a market for extremely talented drivers there. Is there a way back into Rally 1? I think he's right to look towards 2027.
Yeah.
Potentially new manufacturers coming in. Difficult to see
really
anything next year.
Really difficult. It's a brutal sport at times, a really brutal sport.
Yep.
It really is. Now, we only have around about 5 minutes left. So first of all, thank you very much to everybody for sticking around, asking questions, popping into the competition as well. And now is that big moment where we can reveal who has won these prizes. So we're going to select Colin as our assistant. If you can pick up one of the rally plates, first of all.
One of the rally plates?
Take two.
Yes.
Take two.
Yes.
Take
Here
two.
we go.
So
I'm going to take it to camera 1. There we are. That's our rally
There
plate
it
with
is.
all those wonderful signatures.
The lucky winner, because it's two of them.
Two of them.
Of these. I should have got you to get two, shouldn't I? Sorry, Colin. There it is. The lucky winners are Kitty Koenig and Tiago Fernandez. So if that is you, congratulations. we will be in touch with you via the social media handle you provided, and yeah, they'll be coming to you very soon. Congratulations. Prize is number 2, and this is a 4 winners of this one. Caps and the beanie hat, signed by Vincent Londe, Sebastian Ogier, and Elfyn Evans. So quite a few for Colin to show off to the camera.
And
David.
Get that, and there.
So the
we kind of
Elfyn...
need to get them to this immediately, don't we? Because it is going to go a bit cold.
It is, yeah. Someone's going to be coming.
Can I try the woolly hat on?
No, don't ruin it for someone else. The Elfyn Evans cap, first of all, congratulations to Joe Early. Well done, mate. You have won the Elfyn Evans signed cap. The Londe beanie, the one that David is very fond of. And I'm going to be honest, I think this may be Estonian or Latvian, so I'm going to try and not butcher the pronunciation a little bit. But it's Vitakins Emils.
Sounds good to me.
You probably hopefully know who you are. We will be in touch with you anyway. So getting a message. Well done. You have won the Vincent Londe signed beanie. The Vincent Londe cap belongs to Misaka 99. Congratulations. Well done to you. You now have a priceless bit of memorabilia. And finally in that batch, the Sebastian Ogier cap. Well done to Leo Bolovin. Leo, that is yours. 8-time World Rally Champions cap there for you. So yeah.
And a 9-time Monte Carlo Rally winner.
Yep.
Is that one?
Yep.
That is, yeah, your hand is covering the signature, but that's okay. There it is.
And next, what have we got
and next? The Takamoto Katsuta boots, which David tried his best to deform, but I think they are signed.
They're all good.
And they're signed.
Straight off the podium in Safari last year.
Yep, and I think it's a huge prize. I believe a lot of you were in the running for this one, but congratulations to Sana Suvela. Well done to you. These boots will be coming your way. We'll be in contact with you, and you will get those. I am as well, to be honest. Although, as I say, if you've got feet small enough to fit in,
you can
put them on the wall.
So would I. You wouldn't want to ruin them, would you?
No.
And finally, arguably, and we had this debate: Nomex or boots? Which for you is the bigger prize?
This one, I've got to say, that's incredible.
The amount of times that Colin's walked up to this camera doing this today as well is uncanny.
Come on in, who's
He's
won?
like, well, do a bit of drum roll, bit of suspense. Belongs to Kitty Kane.
Yay!
Congratulations. Well done to you.
Kitty.
This is on your way to you.
Wow. Wonderful.
Yeah, you need to frame it.
Something
Get it up on the
isn't
wall.
it?
It is amazing. Signed from winning Chile straight into your onto your wall.
And I don't. You can't put a monetary value on these, but if you do fall on hard times and you put that on eBay, it's thousands. But it is genuinely thousands of yours. I don't know.
It is incredible.
I don't know.
And you cannot buy that.
No,
you can't. It's incredible. So yeah, well done, Kitty.
Yeah,
what a competition.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, just to reiterate, for taking part in this. And thank you to Toyota Gazoo Racing for supplying us with these wonderful gifts.
Incredible
it's incredible. As rally fans, the three of us, we're getting excited. As rally fans, the three of us, it's amazing stuff. But as you probably heard, and you can see from us getting excited, Thierry Neuville's Hyundai is doing its thing. It's revving up. I'm just going to check the time. We are a couple minutes out, a couple minutes away from as he
hasn't checked it early, has he?
No, he hasn't. So it's 2:30. He leaves the ramp. So hopefully you can see on camera behind. I think you can yet behind our heads. That is Thierry Neuville. We were talking about it before, actually. Number 1 in that side of the car. I love the fact he's done it, but it is, when he had number 11 before, it's strange, isn't it? It's like they just peeled one off. It's like, it's not that different.
Yeah, it's like they've forgotten to put the other one on, but no, he'll fully deserve that. It'd be great to see it.
There he is. Thierry Neuville.
It's a huge moment, isn't it? It's the start of a new season. It's the start of a new chapter. It's the start of the Monte Carlo Rally. Don't forget, what time's the first stage tonight? It is... Come stay on the line,
It was all going so well, wasn't it? It was going so well. Yeah, Thierry Neuville, Martin Vidager there. We cannot forget Martin.
18:05.
18:05 is first stage. There we go. So that is in just 3 hours and 35 minutes. The first stage will.
And this is the amazing bit about rallying, isn't it? That they will now leave Casino Square. They drive according to the road traffic regulations. They could be driving alongside everybody.
Yep.
And then just at 18:04, check into a control. And the world goes mad.
And they
put it into stage mode.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
The roads are closed, and now flat chat. It's incredible. It's what makes our sport completely relevant to the road and the best sport in the world.
There we go. So that brings us to an end of this 3-hour live stream. Can you believe it or not? We've made it 3 hours. We've heard from the leading contenders. We've heard from the not guest experts, your permanent experts of DirtFish.
You know something we don't know.
I just got saying in my ear there, saying that time's up. But yeah, as Neuville crosses the start ramp, that brings us to an end. We are obviously from DirtFish Rally School. A key reason why we're here is all about passion and learning how to drive. Thank you very much for watching. Stay with us throughout the entire weekend. DirtFish.com, DirtFish Rally on social. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and check some of this out.
Thanks, everyone. Well, we're a rally school and we are the best rally school out there. So if you want to learn to drive, there really is only one place to go. DirtFish.com, have a look at the videos, find out all about the wonderful range of classes that we offer for you to go out and hone your skills as a potential rally driver.